Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining. Please, we want names to be on the handles. Samsung SMA135F, please put your name. If not, we will think you're an hacker. So please put your name once you join. So I would indulge Samsung SMA135F to please rename your device. Please rename your device. And if you want your video to be on, please, we want you to be well represented. Be in an environment that is suitable for a conference or workshop. Please, thank you as you comply.
Tutorialist. Yes.
Oluwaseyi, please mute your microphone. Microphone. Oluwaseyi, please mute.
Good morning, everyone. Well, I guess we will not be able to respond, but I've been asked to give the welcome. Dr. Kwebabadele, am I to go on with the welcome? Because I didn't have any to this.
Prof, good morning, ma.
Good morning.
Yes,
Can I go on with the welcome?
Fine, ma. You need to adjust your camera to cover your face, ma, so that we have a good view of you, ma.
Okay. Is that
Much
okay?
better. Yes, much better.
better
Thank
now?
you. Yes,
Is it
ma.
better now?
Yes, ma. Thank you,
Okay.
Prof.
Welcome. So can I go on with the welcome?
Please do, ma.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning,
Good morning,
It's
Prof. Ma.
Good morning, ma.
It's an honor and privilege to have the start off of this online interaction, and on behalf of the Alpha Beta Gama of the Babcock University in particular, and then the university, the Babcock University School of Nursing, I welcome every one of us to this platform this morning. Partly, I say this, and to say that I appreciate everyone. I welcome the guest speakers that are really told to really make sure that we have a meaningful interaction today. I particularly welcome Mrs. Eze, Dr. Joshi Fogo, and Dr. I'm sorry, and from China.
Ngbadi.
Dr. Akingbade, thank you very much, Dr. Maitoni. I welcome the three of you are resource persons, and I want to say that we are not taking you for granted, but for the fact that you have labored and then everything will work out well for you as well in your endeavor. I welcome the participants that have registered from far and near to participate in this workshop. We thank you from the organizing committee end. We thank you for being committed, and I pray that we'll all benefit from this important topic of the workshop today to harness together education and practice. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much,
Prof.
for that welcome address.
Yes, we will start very soon because our first resource person is already in the house. And I want to also join the voice of my dean to say welcome to Mrs. Margaret Eze as we expect the other resource persons. But before we go on, I just quickly want to reiterate that if you do not have your device named, please log out and rename your device. We don't want a situation where hackers join this program. And so please do us the favor of renaming your device so that we can know those who are actually in the call. So the goodwill message now by the President Sigma, Alpha Beta Babcock University chapter, Dr. Mrs. Clara Lawal.
Good day to everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Good day to everyone present at this webinar presentation. All protocols duly observed. On behalf of Sigma Theta Tau International and Alpha Beta Gamma members, one of the chapters in Nigeria situated at Babcock University, I welcome you to this webinar. In accordance with the events to be accomplished by chapters, this webinar is organized to enable nurses all over Nigeria to be aware of the advantages of knowledge, professional advancement, and research. And as educators, this webinar will give us insight into what is needed to strengthen nursing education to ensure quality, adequate, and prompt healthcare in Nigeria. I commend efforts of the planning committee and the great scholars who will be presenting for us today. I congratulate all Sigma members in Nigeria and all other nurses who joined this event. I wish us all a good outing. Thank you very much. God bless you all.
You're welcome, ma. Thank you, ma, for that presentation. We missed out something, which is very, very important. We have not prayed. So before we go on, let us pray. Our dear Father in heaven, we appreciate you for the gift of today. Thank you, Lord, because you gave us the opportunity to plan this day and you actually made it a reality. We had a lot of participants that registered, and we are thanking you because we believe you hasten them to join as much as they have registered. Thank you, Lord, for our resource persons, that you will give the strength and enablement to present what will be needful to us. Thank you, Lord, for the Dean of the School of Nursing. Thank you, Lord, for the President Sigma. Thank you for all Sigma members. Thank you for all nurses and even non-nurses here present. Thank you for our lives as individuals. Thank you for thus far you have helped us in the journey of life and even in this year 2023. We return all glory to you. We appreciate you. We say be thou exalted in the name of Jesus. Please forgive us all our sins, cleanse us from all our iniquities, create within us a new heart, renew the right spirit within us. And even as we go on with this program, we pray, Heavenly Father, that you will take absolute control. Your name will be glorified at the end, and we will learn much more than that which will empower us to be great nurses. Thank you to this end because we believe you keep all that we have committed into your hands. We humbly pray with thanksgiving in Jesus Christ's name. Amen.
Amen.
So I will invite Dr. Abimbola Ojo to read the citation of Mrs. Margaret Eze.
Okay. Yeah, good morning, everyone. And thank you also for being part of this. So to read Mrs. Margaret Chika Eze's profile. So Mrs. Margaret Chika Eze currently works as a director of nursing and head of education department of the Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria. She got her bachelor's. She got her bachelor's. She got a Bachelor of Science degree in nursing with a major in nursing education in 1991 from the prestigious University of Ibadan. Having first obtained registered nurse and registered midwife qualifications in 1986 and 1987, respectively, from the School of Nursing and School of Midwifery, Mater Misakondai Hospital, Afikpo, in present-day Ebonyi State. In 1999, Margaret Chika Eze obtained a Master of Business Administration, MBA degree in Healthcare Management from the Lagos State University, Ojo, Lagos. She was inducted in 2005 as a fellow of the West African College of Nursing in the Faculty of Administration Management and Education, and also a fellow of the Nigerian Institute of Management. In 2011, she obtained a second Master of Science degree in nursing from the University of Ibadan, majoring in maternal and child health. Her work experience: after qualifying as a midwife, as a nurse midwife, Margaret Chika Eze worked as a clinical instructor from 1987 to 1988, when she proceeded to the University of Ibadan to pursue her undergraduate degree. In her capacity as a clinical instructor, she taught, coached, mentored, and supervised students in clinical experiences and patient care studies. In addition, she was an instructor in family planning and served in rural communities, promoting rural women's practice of family planning. After graduating from the University of Ibadan with a second-class upper division, Margaret Chika Eze served in the National Youth Service Corps at the Nigerian Navy Hospital, Ojo, Lagos, from 1991 to 1992, during which period she co-managed under 5 clinics, school health and social welfare services of the hospital. She joined the services of the Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria in 1992 after a national service, where she has worked in different departments and in varying capacity till date. As a staff of the Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria, she has been involved in various policy and project development activities with the Federal Ministry of Health, non-governmental organizations, development partners, nursing and midwifery training institutions, and other stakeholders in health care. Now, our professional and management development. As a fellow of the Nigerian Institute of Management, Chartered, certified professional manager, Margaret Chika Eze has displayed managerial competencies in various positions that she has held. She's a fellow of the West African Postgraduate College of Nursing and Midwifery and a member of the National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives. She has, in addition, attended various professional and management courses organized by various organizations, both nationally and internationally. Margaret Chika Eze is diligent, honest, and has excellent work ethics and good interpersonal relationship with trusted integrity. She is disciplined, self-motivated, an excellent team player with exemplary leadership and management skills. Margaret Chika Eze is married with children. I present to you Mrs. Margaret Chika Eze. We can welcome her with some applaud, a round of applause, although we may not hear that, but then let's just do it in our various places. You're welcome, ma.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Welcome,
Good
ma.
morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, good morning, ma.
Raise your hand, wave your hand if you
Yes,
can hear
we
me. Wave your hand. Good morning, everyone on the platform.
Good morning.
I'd like
Good
to
morning.
thank the
Good morning.
organizers of this program
Thank you.
for the opportunity to speak. I've been asked to speak on the state of nursing education in Nigeria, challenges and opportunities. If the host will permit me, I will share my screen now.
Go ahead.
Can you present it?
Okay.
Put it on slideshow. Put it on slideshow.
Yes, we can see your slide, ma. You can move on, ma.
Okay. I want to put it on slideshow so that you all can view
That's
it
better.
better.
That's better.
Put it on slideshow. People are not conversant with them. Does somebody know where we can put it on a slideshow?
Okay, go
Down
to the
below,
lower
go
side.
to the right, ma'am.
Something that seems to be like a cup at the lower side. Go down.
Okay, at the lower side, okay.
Yes, there seems to be a cup. Just click on that thing that seems to be like a cup.
Fine, now we're there.
All right, thank you.
Yes. So I've been asked to speak on the state of nursing education in Nigeria, opportunities, challenges and opportunities.
We can't see your slide, man.
Oh, you can see it.
It seems you stopped sharing.
Go back to some. Can you see it now?
Yes, ma'am.
Slide control.
You can see the outline now.
We can see, but it's not yet on slideshow.
Can you just press F5, F5?
F5. No, the voice is gone.
All right. You are out totally. You can go back to the slideshow.
Out of where?
You are no more, your slide is no longer presenting.
Can you, let's do it this way. Can you send the documents? Maybe you send the documents,
don't
ma'am, so we share on your behalf.
No, she will share it herself. Go back. All right, ma'am. So now go up. There is on the home, you see it where the slideshow up. Go to where there is slideshow up. Yes, click on it.
Yes.
Now click from the beginning.
Yes.
Go back, click from the beginning. There is from the beginning. Click on it.
Okay.
Thank you.
So can you see the slide right now?
Yes, we can.
All right. I'm so sorry about that. So I'm speaking on the state of nursing education in Nigeria, challenges and opportunities. The knowledge that I'm going to share has been organized in this presentation outline, we are going to be introducing the topic, and we are going to talk a little bit about historical evolution of nursing education in Nigeria, current state of nursing education, challenges and opportunities, and the recommendations. By way of introduction, nursing is a critical component of Nigeria's health system, as we all understand, as nurses make up a majority of workforce. Strengthening nursing education is vital in Nigeria's healthcare, at least for Nigeria's healthcare capacity and improvement of health. Notwithstanding, issues such as non-acceptance of change, ineffective participation in politics, political interference, and other matters still continue to affect nursing education. Today, nursing educational institutions across the country face several challenges. And if these challenges are left unattended, they will undermine the quality of training and lead to uneven competency levels among graduates. Major challenges impacting nursing education in Nigeria, as you will agree with me, include inadequate funding, lack of training resources, shortages of qualified academic staff, poor state of infrastructure, limited clinical training opportunities, even poor standardization are also part of our challenges. You will agree with me that the functions of nurses have changed substantially in recent years. Nurses are no longer limited to delivering care at the bedside. They are now key players in the multidisciplinary healthcare team and play important roles in research, education, critical care, and primary care. And when you put all these roles together, you will know that today, nursing education is not just a theoretical issue. It is essential to the delivery of healthcare and is directly linked to patient care and general health and well-being of the populace. Despite the challenges that abound, there are still emerging opportunities to strengthen and standardize nursing education in Nigeria. So our discussion today will try to navigate through the current state of nursing education. We will highlight the challenges and opportunities that lie in wait to reshape the future of nursing in Nigeria. Having now introduced the topic, what are the objectives? We try to provide a historical overview of nursing education in Nigeria. We try to identify and discuss the challenges and obstacles that nursing education in Nigeria is currently facing. We highlight the opportunities and try to make some recommendations for actionable solutions that will help to improve nursing education. Now, nursing education, if we talk about it in Nigeria without telling a story, then it will be incomplete. So it's important for us to delve a bit into history to try to know how it all started, where we were and where we are today. Then we'll be able to judge whether we are making progress or we are going backwards. So I will crave your indulgence. We are going to delve a little bit into history of nursing education in Nigeria. We are going to tell the stories, although there are things that you have heard over and over again, but I know each time we talk about them, we know that we're stating them the way they are. They are facts. So from this age and where we are now. So let's go forward. Historical overview of how nursing education has developed in Nigeria over time. Nursing education was bequeathed into Nigeria by the British administrators who fashioned the system in line with what was operated in their country. This system of nursing education later metamorphosed from informal education to formal structured apprenticeship training, which started in Nigeria in the 1930s, and subsequently to tertiary education offered in hospital-based schools of nursing and midwifery across the country. However, most authors who write on the topic of history of nursing and nursing education in Nigeria, they say it is best to discuss this evolution of nursing education using three distinct periods: the colonial, pre-colonial period, colonial period, and post-colonial period. Let's look at the history of nursing education pre-colonial. Little is known about nursing education during this period. And of course, we know because there wasn't any country known as Nigeria before at that time. So the European missionaries who arrived in the early 19th century had among them nurses and midwives and medical doctors who, what they did was to establish dispensaries and mission posts along the coastal areas where their ship landed. So they were not formal hospitals at the time. Then the colonial period. Prior to 1930, nursing and midwifery education was an unstructured kind of apprenticeship training in mission posts. Those mission posts that were established around the riverine areas were offering services. By 1930, training had become structured, but still mostly apprenticeship type training in mission posts. Later, this mission posts metamorphosed into hospitals. The training was not regulated in any way until the enactment of Midwives Ordinance of 1930, and which was followed by the Nurses Ordinance of 1947. 1945, but it was actually launched in 1947. From 1949 upward, establishment of hospital-based mission schools of nursing and midwifery began. A lot of the missionaries that came began to put hospitals in the mission posts where they were. There was no national qualifying examination until 1950, after the establishment of the Nursing Council of Nigeria and the Midwives Board by an ordinance. By 1952, hospital-based nursing training commenced in a government hospital, and that was at the University College Hospital, Ibadan. The standard of training then was similar to what obtained in England and Wales, because it was the white missionaries that established the institution. The entry requirements at the time was a full secondary school, and that was for that government hospital, University College Hospital, because it was established to be a model training institution. Other government hospitals that came on board, their entry qualification at the time was Standard 6 or Government Class 5. And at the end of the training, the state registered state registered nurse certificate, SRN, of England and Wales was issued to them. This was from 1930 to 1959. Then later, more hospitals and schools of nursing came on board. St. Luke's Hospital was established at Anawiyo. Lagos School of Nursing was also established at this time. Then came the post-colonial period. This is the period from 1960 and after. Many other nursing schools were established. For example, that was the time Lutz came on board. Missionary hospitals also, like Holy Rosary Hospital, Emekuku, and so on and so forth, they were established. However, because of the agitation that was coming on, many of Nigerians who went abroad, who trained, came back and desired more education. So there was a lot of agitation. The society was changing, getting more educated. So there was that clamor for university education. So this led to the establishment of the Department of Nursing in 1965, the premier university that ever offered nursing education in Nigeria. Nevertheless, the hospital-based model of nursing education still continued to thrive. Since the establishment of University of Ibadan, nursing education has expanded, but still remains beleaguered and is being impacted by broader challenges that faces Nigeria's educational system. We're still talking about post-colonial periods. To further strengthen the regulation of nursing and midwifery education in the country, the Midwives Board and the Nursing Council that regulated the education and practice of nurses and midwives as separate bodies merged in 1979, giving birth to the present-day Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria. I'm sure this is a story you've heard over and over again. Let us try and talk about having laid that foundation with the history from pre-colonial to colonial period to post-colonial. Let us talk about current nursing, state of nursing education, which the target is to talk about best practice, to bring about best practice in the profession. There is that merging together of theory, practice, nursing research, and so on and so forth, so that we can have best practice in nursing. Education is the most important instrument of change in any society. This is what Nigerians' National Policy on Education of 1981 says. Nigeria needs an effective and efficient nursing education system to build an adequate, competent, and relevant nursing workforce necessary for the achievement of sustainable development goals and universal health coverage. The Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria, NMCN, has taken the national education policy into consideration while creating nursing educational pathways necessary for preparing nurses to work independently in healthcare and being members of the healthcare team. And Council has worked assiduously over the years to ensure that policies and programs and activities are created and carried out with the aim of promoting excellence in nursing education and practice, and as stipulated by law. Over the years, like we try to trace the history of how nursing has developed in nursing education has developed in Nigeria. After we talked about the post-colonial period, a time came in the 60s and 70s. Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria kept improving on educational requirements, entry requirements, the curriculum, and so on and so forth. But for the purpose of this discussion, I want us to narrow down to Council's nursing education reforms from 2005 till date. Central to all steps taken by the Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria to reform nursing education is the need to align nursing education with Nigeria's policy on education. We all know this history, that from the beginning of nursing education, it never aligned with Nigeria's educational system, in that after we train people from hospital-based training, what we award to them is ordinary certificate that has no quantification. It's neither a diploma nor a degree. It's just a certificate. Nigeria's educational policy recognizes secondary education, after secondary education, education in the colleges after colleges, university education, but nursing was neither here nor there. That was the focus of the council, that if we must get it right, we must align nursing education to the national education policy in Nigeria. So all reform activities of the council were aimed at repositioning nursing education into the mainstream of Nigeria's educational system. So of all educational reform activities that took place, the ones that took place in 1965, the one that took place in 1978 that led to the overhauling of the whole system, the one that makes a lot of meaning and that identifies with contemporary nursing education is the thing that took place at Gombe Conference Nursing Leaders of 2005. At this Gombe conference, the resolutions that were taken by nursing leaders during this conference became the bedrock of contemporary reform activities in nursing education and practice. What were they? After the Gombe conference, the resolutions that were taken included change of minimum entry requirements. Because at the time, part of the arguments that were raised was that nurses were those who enter into nursing education didn't have comparable minimum requirements to as compared with other health professionals. So this meeting of Gombe took this decision to revisit the minimum entry requirements. So in 2006, it changed from what it used to be to 5 credit passes in physics, chemistry, biology, mathematics, and so on and so forth at not more than 2 sittings. This has become the entry requirement into nursing at all pathways, be it in the School of Nursing, College of Nursing, and universities. University education for nurses was a priority in the reform agenda of the council. Now, one minute. Today, hold on. Hold on. This is not the slide I'm supposed to be speaking to. Where's Timberg? I think the slides jumped. The one I'm not supposed to be. I've done this. You've done this. Yes. Yeah, but the next one following it shouldn't be this, not the slide I'm talking about. No. Okay. You have to go. No, let me go back. Okay, so I was talking about minimum requirements that changed from 2006 till date. This is, we have our 5 credits as our minimum entry requirements into the, for all pathways of nursing training in Nigeria. Now, today, at the inception of the nursing education reforms in Nigeria, the number of universities that were offering degrees in nursing were less than 10. But today, the number of universities has risen to above 50 from 10 departments that existed in 2005 at the inception of nursing education agenda. And this is about a 400% increase in 18 years. The Department of Nursing that are currently running post-basic programs have also increased to what it used to be now. And then these are all significant areas of the reform agenda. Let's try and look at this if I put it in this way, you are not seeing everything. Can I reduce it and try to show them? Because it's not showing everything on the screen. Okay. Okay, they can see it. All right. Okay, so if you can see it from my end that is not showing very well, if we look at this pyramid together here, you will see that at the inception of nursing education reform in 2005, the projection, council was planning for all schools of nursing to move into the university gradually. The projection at that time was movement of all nursing educational institutions into the university over a 10-year period. That by the year 2010, 75% would have moved into the university and 100% by 2015. But what played out at the end of the day was even by 2015, not even a single school of nursing had gotten any affiliation or absorption into a school of nursing. So it became a challenge to the council. And agitation was rising. People were complaining. If you recall, back in 2002, in the 90s, a lot of nurses were ready to leave nursing profession for other career opportunities. Things were not moving as planned. Growth of nurses were stunted. People were having a lot of issues, a lot of challenges. But this was the initial plan that the council had for nursing education in Nigeria. But this did not materialize. Why? Because there were too many schools of nursing with very few departments of nursing who were ready to absorb or to assimilate them or to even have them being affiliated to them. So that objective was not achieved. Compare it with what is showing this next slide. This also was something proposed as the structure for nursing education in Nigeria. If you look at this one now, more or less, this is what is in operation now with few modifications. The initial proposal was for nursing education for people who have the prerequisite qualification to enter into BNSC nursing, and they'd have 4 years. But this did not go down well with NUC because other professional bodies, other professional disciplines, they had, upward of 5 years and above for them to train their people. So if you look at it, that's why our BNSC program is 5 years. If you look at the arrow at your far left, far right, you will see the provision made for the RN to join into the program. Once you have passed through a hospital base, you are RN, you can, go into the BNSC program. And for people who can't go because of maybe they are not released from work, they can do a part-time there, provision through the distance learning hybrid, method, and they go there. So, but there is slight modification because you can see in here, the NDHND has not been captured in this proposed, structure for nursing education. Now, when all council's efforts to migrate schools of nursing directly into universities failed, people were still agitated. There was still no quantification of the general nursing certificates. In 2007 or so, there was, after much agitation for employment purpose, Ministry of Health assessed not the RM certificates and said it was equivalent of HND, but for the purpose of employment only. He could not say academic progression with it was a problem. So council felt, what should we do? People were agitated. They want to get university education. They could not because of limited space. Then the collegiate system idea, which was first mooted in the 90s, came back into operation. What do we do to give people a seamless opportunity to try and progress their career? So the council now had to revisit the collegiate system of nursing education. And today, council has structured a seamless transitioning process of hospital-based nursing program to a collegiate system, so that for those who can be assimilated by the university, that is our first priority. If you can get affiliation or get absorbed or assimilated, as it were, into a proximal university, that is the council's first choice. For those of them who cannot, they can come together and form colleges. Council has given a deadline, which is till the end of this year, for Soy School of Nursing to be absorbed into the university, or to reorganize into colleges for award of ND, HND, or they will cease to be recognized by the Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria from 2024. So in the same way, post-basic nursing programs have also been given till the same date for them to either reorganize, commence offering postgraduate diploma in nursing education, or get affiliated into the university. That is the current state that we are under collegiate system of education. It is not what is best, but this is what we can do in the circumstance as a regulatory body. Now, we have also gone ahead to upgrade and restructure post-basic programs. Between 2018 and 2019, the NMCN, in collaboration with NUC, has upgraded all the post-basic nursing clinical specialty programs. There are 19 in number and still counting. More are still coming on board, to postgraduate diplomas and MSc in degrees. So we are just advocating for faculties and departments of nursing in Nigeria who think they have the capacity in terms of human resource, in terms of facilities, to please take up these programs. The curriculum is ready. The minimum standard is ready by the NUC. The professional curriculums are also ready at the council. So as many as universities that are ready to run programs in these clinical and nursing clinical specialty areas, they are encouraged to do so. Some universities have taken up some programs and they are running them, as we discussed. Curriculum development. Remember, we're still talking about major steps that the council have taken, trying to reform nursing education in Nigeria. Between 2006, 2006 and 2022, all the curricula for basic and post-basic nursing and midwifery programs have been revised 5 times as part of the ongoing reform of the council, making sure that they are in tune with global best practice and trends in the healthcare delivery system. Even the ND-HND curriculum, the council worked with MBTE between 2017 and 2019 to develop the ND-HND curriculum. And between the above period, we also felt the need to introduce training of lower cadre of nursing because of Nigeria's health indices. They were not very good, and you know about the disparity in healthcare across regions in Nigeria. So the need arose for us to introduce community nursing and community midwifery. Those curricula were also developed, and the programs are up and running in the various places. Curriculum development and review. The last revision of the general nursing and midwifery professional curriculum was done in 2022 to facilitate the integration of new trends and concepts in line with global best practices, and to upgrade its standards for, effective healthcare service delivery in the country. Those of you who have are conversant with the curriculum, you will agree with me that it's much more enriched now, bringing in so many more trends like patient improvement and healthcare, home health nursing, and other courses that have been introduced. New post-basic curricula were also developed for emerging nursing areas. For example, gerontology, fertility nursing, oncology, nephrology, and neonatal nursing. These are new curriculum that we have also post-basic curriculum that we have also developed. Now, implementation of the internship scheme is one landmark achievement that Council has also been able to achieve in trying to reposition nursing education. We all know that it has come to stay. In 2016, it was approved and it became effective in January 2017. When we talk about the challenges, we will still highlight areas that are affecting internship program today. Continuing education, we have not left any stone unturned. We try to carry everybody along, both our nurses in service, to make sure that everybody maintains a certain competency level at all times. So Council is, has structured MCPDP across the 36 states of Nigeria and Abuja, and it's up and running. We have over 20 modules developed. Now, we still want more, and we're still trying to develop more modules. Now, if we can just relax a bit, we will try and look at this chart, this thing that I put on the screen for us to know just enrollment into nursing and midwifery education. We are comparing just between a 4-year period from 2018 to 2022. The students' enrollment, how it has increased over the years. If you look at Abia State, for example, you will see that in 2018, the students' enrollment there was 857. And by 2022, see where it has risen to 953, and so on and so forth. So on and so forth. So what does it tell us? It tells us from 2018 till date, a number of nursing educational institutions have continued to increase, as well as their quota. And between this period, if you can see what we saw on the chart, about we now have about 351 schools. I'm putting everything together. It's an aggregate, whether nursing, midwifery, Department of Nursing, and and so on and so forth. Now, even as the enrollment is increasing, so also, even as the number of schools is increasing, so also the enrollment is increasing. And we have some states that are higher than others. Now, what are the challenges of nursing education in Nigeria? What are the challenges? There are many. I try to put them together, in a way that we can discuss easily. We know we have limited access of quality nursing education. That's why you see many people, they are outside of this country. Some are going to Francophone countries that are poorly regulated, seeking nursing education, because placements are very few back home in Nigeria. We have shortage of qualified, experienced nursing manpower in the academic setting. This is not, it's something that we are yet to overcome. Quality manpower. There is also reluctance of academics to follow up clinical students in the clinical experience. following up of students in the clinical areas. We pay lip service. Those of us that are in academia, following up our students to the roots is still a challenge that we experience in our nursing education. There is poor research activities and utilization, limited clinical training experience. You see where a particular teaching hospital accommodates over 10 schools of nursing and department of nursing. Using the place as a clinical experience site is still a problem. Poor retention of nursing graduates in school, inadequate opportunities for continuing education program, even for educators, even for the lecturers, even for people who are teaching in the colleges of nursing, inadequate infrastructure, facilities, and other resources. There is disparity in regional educational standards. We know that in Nigeria. In some part of the country, what they require there is what is not different from what the other part of the country requires. There is technological challenges in education as the paradigm is shifting. You know, after COVID, our educational system has changed entirely, and people are having problems. See what we are seeing even in giving this lecture. So technological challenges is still a problem in nursing education. More on the challenges, difficulty that I have said in terms of affiliation, absorption of schools of nursing to universities. Manpower remains a problem even for the ND-HND program that we have, we are now doing. Although the internship program has commenced, there are still gaps. Placement is still a problem. Mentorship and supervision also a problem. Even to try to solve this, Council introduced the concept of preceptorship for all our training institutions and giving opportunities for interns to be supervised when they are undergoing clinical practice. The challenges are numerous. Negative influences, when you talk about externally, something that is outside of nursing, is also militating against nursing education. Nursing institutions being under the Ministry of Health is also a challenge. They are not relinquishing, people are not, rather than being under the Ministry of Education. So in that case, there is always, problems here and there. Do I still have some time? Okay. Inadequate number of nursing institutions offering higher degrees and part-time is also a challenge because there is still a teeming number of nurses requiring university nursing education that don't have placement. Inadequate funding, regulatory issues. Now, right now, there are about 3 different regulators regulating nursing education. NUC is in the picture, MBTE is in the picture, Nursing Council is in the picture. How do we harmonize all this? Poor infrastructure, lack of modern teaching aids. Many schools, as we know, they lack modern facilities for equipment, for effective training, inadequate classrooms, library, and a lack of access to modern teaching aids and technology as would be good for teaching effectively. Interference from stakeholders is still a challenge in admission procedures, especially for the colleges of nursing. Universities may not experience this all that much, but it's a predominant problem in colleges of nursing. Clinical practice placement, I've said that again. And then the big problem of immigration of experienced hands. How do we do it? Many people are going, they are leaving the shores of the country, and our nursing education system is suffering. Now, look at this trend. I just decided to put it there for you to share with you the trend in immigration, the number of people who have, verified their credentials with the council in their plan to leave the country. Before now, before in the 80s and early 2000s, security was never a problem to talk about in nursing education, but today it has become a challenge. as it is disrupting and affecting nursing education across the country. And it's very, very serious in some parts of the country. It's still a challenge. Now, opportunities. When we talk about opportunities, let's consider nursing as an enterprise. And we want to know what is out there for us. What can we do to make it better, to gain a fair market share? If nursing education were an enterprise, what is out there? When we do a SWOT analysis, it tells us that for our strengths and weaknesses are the things that are within us. Opportunities are outside, threats are outside. What are those opportunities we can bring into nursing to harness and make our teaching learning more effective and make our nursing education stronger? So let's talk about the opportunities that are out there for us. We can collaborative partnership between institutions and health facilities. We can integrate technology, innovative technologies into our teaching learning. The technology space has a lot of applicability in nursing that we can leverage on them to make our teaching, learning activities, or even develop a career in that area of technology and continue to grow it for nursing. Advocacy for public policy initiatives to enhance educational standards, professional development and training programs for educators and lecturers. Advocacy for the recognition of role of nursing. Can you imagine that in 2020, when WHO declared that year as Year of the Nurse and Midwives, do you know the kind of recognition that brought to nursing? So this is what we're talking about. If we can, advocate and make nursing, more visible and more prominent. More of opportunities, partnership with foreign nursing body. It can be at the level of the institution. It can be at the level of the council, having to visit a foreign nursing board to understudy how do they regulate their nursing education. What do they do? Then expansion of post-basic nursing education. We need to still expand post-basic nursing education. Over there, people do a doctorate in Doctor of Nursing Practice, advanced nursing practice, because we are talking about having a grip of our clinical at the higher level of education. So there is still that opportunity to expand post-basic nursing education. Integration of technology, I've said it, we can't overemphasize it, particularly e-learning. It has come to stay. No matter how we feel, no matter what you think about it, it has come to stay. And we must have a way of integrating it into nursing. Strategies to improve clinical and, teaching and learning. I don't think I have more time to go. And then I'll try to put together some recommendations, things that we can do. They are different from the opportunities that I have just highlighted, but these are, involving everybody. I've grouped them into 3 general recommendations, those that affect the government for need for increased investment in and funding of education, establishing a centralized accreditation system to be cited by the council. NUC will not come today, council will come tomorrow, NBTE will come tomorrow. It's only to one educational institution they are going to. Is there a way we can harmonize them together? Increase recruitment and retention of academics, expansion of clinical nursing sites and infrastructure. We have just a few. We keep opening schools of nursing without commensurate facilities where they will do the clinical portion of the training. Promotion of continuing education and professional development and reorientation of stakeholders, for them to key into council's reform agenda rather than criticizing it. All hands must be on deck to ensure commitment by all stakeholders. There is need to scale up the establishment of faculties. We cannot overemphasize this, our Department of Nursing over and over. And then I'm suggesting that federal government should develop policies to an incentive to retain skilled nurses in Nigeria, because the rate at which everybody is just, going out, time will come when the whole place will be empty. Then these are the recommendations for the institutions. We can always collaborate and collaborate and collaborate. All this synergy that we talk about, can we put them into practice? Can we reevaluate the level of collaboration with healthcare institutions and facilities to improve clinical experiences of our students? Use of technology, lecturers, those in academia, educators, like I said, this technology use has broad spectrum of application in nursing programs. We can leverage on them. We can, do a lot in the area of virtual simulation, e-learning platforms, blogs, online research journals, everything that comes under technology. It's an opportunity as well as a recommendation that we can leverage on. Increase funding, that is for the institutions, and then scholarship incentives that should be encouraged for to provide scholarship for staff pursuing education, that they will come back to serve them. Research and innovation, we cannot overemphasize these two. Nursing institutions must engage in research and innovation, and this is the only way to enhance knowledge and bring about national development. We talk about interdisciplinary education. That is the way to go in terms of educating nurses. We can no longer say everything is nursing, nursing, nursing. We educate our nurses in an environment that they tap knowledge and ideas from other disciplines, because they are going to, when they finish training, they are going to come and work in the same, arena as professionals of their different disciplines. I'm still talking about recommendation. The ones that the council are recommending for the council to continue the tempo and maintain the tempo of, regular curriculum. This mentorship program also is a recommendation that the council has taken seriously and has introduced this preceptorship program. It's a way of mentoring students. In conclusion, the challenges in nursing education in Nigeria, though substantial, are not insurmountable. With strategic investment and partnership, standardized regulations, technology integration, and community engagement, Nigeria can elevate its nursing education to enviable standards. All stakeholders are encouraged to embrace the nursing education reforms as they are aimed at improving patients' care outcomes and promoting professional ascendancy. The realization of these opportunities will require collaboration among government agencies, educational institutions, and healthcare providers and other stakeholders. And the council will continue to advocate for establishment of nursing university, nursing departments, because we know that is what is going to promote the growth of nursing education in Nigeria. I thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, ma. Please use your emojis to send shots of claps to her. Thank you for the presentation. We are very grateful for your presence. I have tried harvesting some questions on the meeting chat. If you have more questions, please send them to the meeting chat by the right-hand corner of the meeting. So I have forwarded some to Mr. Timbwak, and I think I'm seeing him giving them to our resource person already. So I wouldn't mind if you go on to respond to the questions, ma. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much. The first question that I'm seeing here, it says, why is the council having same licensing exam for both BNSC and the diploma program, but the curriculum is different? Well, what council gives is a professional exam. It's not an academic exam. The nursing council examination is a professional certification. It's not an academic exam. And I don't know any country in the world where professional exam is different. Because I know that in America, for example, the NCLEX exam that they do that certifies an RN is the same RN exam. When you do it, you become an RN. So what we are, the council is doing is a RN exam, is a certification exam, a licensing exam. It's not an academic exam. So irrespective of whether you are a BNSC or you are a hospital-based trained, for you to be an RN is the same professional exam. That's what you do. The second question is, there is trends of advancement in the curriculum of sister professions. For example, BFARM has been upgraded to this and that, and then is nursing considering, well, the development of nursing is not the same with all those sister professions. And when you look at what they do and what we do, like the structure that I shared with you, this is the way that nursing is going. This is the way that nursing is progressing. And I have not seen any country of the, for now, any country in the world where nursing is towing this other line. You remember, we are also following global best practice. If that they have done it, because I know in the US they did FAMD. Maybe that is why in Nigeria they want to do FAMD. We have not seen anywhere in the world where they are doing PhD, to nursing. We have, it is the different pathways into nursing that we have. If we get there, what we are even advancing, we are saying is that let's this advanced practice nursing that will give nursing more autonomy, of practice, in terms of practice. This is what we are advancing. So we can't just be, because this discipline or professional group is doing this, we will jump to that. We will sit together, articulate, and know what is best for the profession, and we toe that line. Which other question? Other sister professions. Other sister professions have diplomas, programs, and graduates from those other programs usually get direct entry into the university to get first degree. Yeah, who is asking this question? It's the same thing for nursing. University entry. Okay. It's 1 year, but it's not only those who did not go through the School of Nursing who go internship. It is not the same. It is not the same method of training. For the person that asked this question, why are those who pass through School of Nursing not participating in internship? It is not the same. Hospital-based training, the way they operate, and the university education, you know it is not the same. When you are hospital-based training, is still more or less like the apprenticeship type of training, where you go, you most of the time you are in the clinical area practicing. So their hands-on, level of hands-on is not compared to that happens in the university. It was out of observation that these clinical skills was lacking in the BNSC nursing, that in a case was made for internship, and it was accepted. So you can now come and equate that one with hospital-based training. They are not the same. What is the difference between the HND in colleges and BNSC? Because it is HND, it is 4 years. BSc is 5 years in the university. What will be their mode of absorption in the civil service? Well, whatever operates with. That's why we say we want a quantified certificate, so that we won't be arguing with establishment and head of service. Whatever is applicable to any HND holder will be applicable to this HND holder, because they carry the same certificate, quantified certificate. So it's not only to nursing alone. Are there more questions? We learned that federal government.
I have them. I have the questions posted to Mr. Timbuk.
Yeah,
But then
I'm
we will
taking
round
them
up
one
this
after
session.
the other. I'm asking, is
Yes,
there
ma'am.
anyone that I have
We will-
not addressed?
I have sent more to Mr. Timbuk. But then we'll round up your session by 11:30. If you have any comment, any question, please send it on the chat box. We will not be able to entertain raising of hands. Send your messages to the chat box.
I can't answer that question. I don't know about federal government funds for research. And besides, is outside the presentation. Please, madam, since post-basic nursing and midwifery cease to exist, what has council, what has NMCN done to enable them progress? Progress where? Post-basic nursing, if it was based on 3.22 individual. You want me to answer that one? That's what you want. That's what that means. So I want to thank the organizers for the opportunity once again to speak.
Are you done, ma?
I think I'm done with the questions. Yes.
Thank you so much, ma. We appreciate your coming. We appreciate your presentation, and we are honored to have you on this call. Thank you so much. We are very, very grateful. And then I will indulge everyone to please give her a round of applause once more as she leaves the
She didn't
stage.
attend to my question.
Excuse me, please. So my question was not attended.
What is the question?
Sorry.
Good morning.
Hello,
Thank you. My
Hello,
question
ma'am.
has not been attended.
Hello? Can you hear
my
me?
question has not been attended to, ma.
Same here, please.
Ma, please, the questions that are here, we may not be
Yeah.
able to attend to all questions. We may not be able to attend to all questions, but then I think the remainder of the questions are that
I have 2 minutes. I have 2
NMC
minutes. I can answer one question.
Okay, can
Somebody
Nursing and
is
Midwifery
asking.
Council, can Nursing and Midwifery Council incorporate all certificates into
Can I talk?
one? That is one of it, ma. Can Nursing and Midwifery Council incorporate all certificates into one?
That's what I'm saying, that it is, I don't think it can be done. Why? Because even when you attend a university and you have your first degree in the same university, second degree and third degree, we then now put all the certificates together for you in one. How is it possible that if you are a nurse and you're a midwife, and then the nurse council will now come and put the certificates for you? There are some that have 3 post-basic qualifications. We are going to put all of them in one certificate. It's not possible.
All right, thank you, ma. The next one is, why do students in Government School of Nursing pay higher fees than their colleagues in Federal University?
The schools are not under the council. What we regulate is the academic standards. We don't regulate schools. They are not, we don't own them. They are owned by their various states. They are owned by private people. They are owned by the federal government, and we don't have any say as to the school fees that is paid.
Please.
Thank you, ma. The
Hello,
last
ma.
and final question. I don't want any interruption, please.
Hello, please. There's a question. The question she just
me.
addressed is not. That's not the question the individual asked.
Doctor, I know. We don't want rowdiness on this page.
Yes, go ahead. Who is asking this question? Why are foreign trained nurses are not allowed to sit for both nursing and midwifery after their adaptation? How many foreign trained did midwifery in their foreign trained places? They do what they do is nursing, and we test them in nursing. They can't hear me again.
We can hear you,
can hear you. We can hear you. Thank you so much, ma, for your presentation.
Some people are asking
we are
funny questions.
Very grateful. Yes. Thank you, ma. We have come to the end of your session. Thank you, ma. God bless you.
Okay.
And so I'm going to bring up Dr. Mike Tommy to read the citation for Dr. Akingbade.
Okay.
Is Dr. Mike Tommy in the call?
Yes, I am.
Please go ahead. Thank you.
I'm trying to join. Thank you very much, Dr. Ope Babadeli. Thank you very much, our first presenter, Mrs. Eze. The second presentation will start almost immediately, and the presenter is
Dr.
online. Yes.
Dr. Maitomi, please hold on a bit. No, Susan Ejoleme, please drop your hand. Stephen Nambo, please drop your hand. Thank you. You can go ahead.
All right. The next presentation will be handled by Dr. Akingbade, and Dr. Onwozishi is trying to share the screen so that all of us will see the next speaker, who is a nurse and an astute researcher. So permit me to introduce this researcher and the presenter to the house. Is Dr. Oluwadamilare Akingbade by name. He's a dynamic community health nursing specialist and postdoctoral researcher, passionate about impacting families and communities through research while building the capacity of nurses in scholarly endeavors. He graduated from Ladoke Akintola University of Technology, that's LAUTECH, Ogbomoso in 2011, where he was certified as a nurse, a midwife, and a public health nurse. He proceeded to the University of Ibadan, where he bagged a master's degree in community health nursing in 2017. He recently bagged a PhD nursing degree, having obtained a fully funded scholarship at the Netherlands School of Nursing University, the Chinese University of Hong Kong. A nurse clinician, Damilare practiced at different clinical facilities from 2012 to 2017. A nurse administrator, he was seconded to the Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria by Lagos State Government in November 2017. He contributed his quota to upholding nursing education and practice standards in Nigeria in 2020 before proceeding on the PhD program. A lover of research, Damilare and other like-minded nurse researcher and fellowship of Christian Nurses funded the Institute of Nursing Research Nigeria, a non-governmental organization passionate about building nurses' capacity in research and disseminating findings. He currently served as the Chief Executive Officer of the Institute and a resource person at the Institute's Journal Club. A writer to the core, he has several publications in peer-reviewed journals to his credit. His research interest includes telehealth, oncology, infectious disease, and maternal and child health. Damilare is highly committed to mentoring and inspiring nurses, a role he has played for over a decade from his days as leader at Fellowship of Christian Nurses, Southwest Zone, Nigeria, and his current role as the project manager at Focusing for Young Nurses Initiative and a lecturer at Department of Nursing, Christland University, Nigeria. An award-winning nurse, Damilare was named one of the top 10 most inspiring male nurses in Nigeria in 2017 by Fellow Nurses Africa. He has won Best Presentation Awards at many conferences. A nurse leader, Damilare recently graduated from the Global Nursing Leader Institute, GNLI, a strategic policy leadership program organized by the International Council of Nurses for senior nurse leaders worldwide. He received an award to be part of the 2021 cohort from August 2021 to June 2022. He was recently certified by the International Council of Nurses as a global nurse consultant. On this note, I introduce Dr. Oluwadamilare Akingbade to the House for his next presentation. Let's make him welcome.
Thank you very much, sir. Dr. Maitomi, for reading my citation. We have worked together a lot, and thank God for technology. I'm not sure we have spoken at all on call before, but it's nice to hear your voice, sir. I want to acknowledge the leadership of Babcock University, Sigma, and AOW Resources for this great privilege to be part of this presentation. I do not take it for granted. And I want to acknowledge the presence of all my leaders in nursing Nigeria, from the last presenter, our very director of nursing education at NMCN, and other NMCN officials, professors, leaders, administrators on board. Permit me to share my screen as I move into my presentation. Kindly let me know when you see it.
Yeah, that's fine. We're together now.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. I've been asked to speak on financing nursing education in Nigeria, exploring sustainable models. And this topic is a very important one for nursing Nigeria. This is my content. Introduction. Nursing is the largest occupation in the health sector, accounting for approximately 59% of the health professions. The landmark reports by the Institute of Medicine revealed that achieving a successful healthcare system in the future rests on the future of nursing. I know we are familiar with the State of the World's Nursing Reports. It was a report put together by the World Health Organization, Nursing Now, and the International Council of Nurses. And this report was able to show that without action, there will be a worldwide shortage of 4.6 million nurses by 2030 unless greater investments is made in nursing now. So we need to invest really in nursing. And if you're familiar with global trends in nursing world, you will agree with me that this has been an agenda that has been pushed forth many times. And with the continuing growth in the world's population and the growing disease burden, there is a critical need for increased number of qualified nurses. And a director of nursing education from NMCN spoke about that many nurses are leaving different countries, moving out, the Japa syndrome, and things like that. So there is a need to increase the number of qualified nurses. And how are we going to do this if we are not paying much attention to funding nursing? Funding nursing education is very, very important. There was a report by the American Association of Colleges of Nursing, AACN, and this report shows that quality patient care hinges on having a well-educated nursing workforce. So current trends globally is tending towards the baccalaureate and the master's level, the graduate level of preparation for nursing. And various research has shown that lower mortality rates, fewer medication errors, and positive outcomes are all linked to registered nurses prepared at the baccalaureate, that's the bachelor's degree, and the graduate degree levels. So if we are investing in nursing education, pushing forth an agenda for us to have more nurses that are prepared at the graduate level, research has shown that it's going to impact on patient care positively anyway. Globally, one of the major sectors of the nursing profession that suffers from underfunding is the nursing education sector. And one of the greatest challenges facing heads of nursing programs today is securing the funding to sustain the level and quality of current programs. Note that we should sustain the level of the programs and also the quality. So it's not just about producing more nurses and producing more, increasing the quota. What is the quality of the programs that we have? And not just that, things are changing globally, trends are changing. We need to expand the programs that we have, and we also need to develop new ones. So it's not just about we maintaining status quo or we having, as important as it is to have more universities offering nursing programs in Nigeria, is very important. We have more nurses being released into the workforce, but more than that, we should also be thinking about developing programs that programs that are more related to improving the patient outcomes, which I'm going to discuss very soon. In this presentation, we explore funding models which have been utilized globally and draw inferences and implications for Nigeria. Currently, I'm in Hong Kong, as you heard in my citation, so I'm going to be drawing inferences a lot from Hong Kong, which I've been for the past 3.5 years. So why do we need to fund nursing education? Number one, to meet the urgent demand for nurses. I said that earlier. To enhance the quality of care. I said that too. And to promote research. The last speaker also mentioned that very, very important. We need to promote research. I'm still going to discuss that extensively later. And to address healthcare disparities in such a way that we have underserved areas, underserved communities that do not have enough nurses, enough health practitioners. When we fund nursing education, we can have more nurses that will go to these areas. And also we need to advance healthcare innovation. I believe so much in innovation. I do not like when things remain the same as it has always been. Things need to change. We need to break the box, think outside the box, and see how we can re-envision nursing education in such a way that we are not only going to maintain status quo, we are going to be able to compete favorably with our counterparts globally, which is also the mission of the Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria. So another reason why we need to fund nursing education, as I mentioned earlier, is we need more advanced practice nursing rooms. So it's not just about we having nurses that have a Bachelor of Nursing, that have Masters in Nursing, that have PhD in Nursing. What about the clinical roles? What about advanced practice nursing roles? When are we going to have a situation in Nigeria when we start having Doctor of Nursing practice? Recently, we had a convocation at Chinese University of Hong Kong, and as we were graduating nurses that are PhD prepared, we are also graduating nurses that are doctors of nursing practice. So where are they going to function? Many of them, the majority of these nurses, they are at the bedside. They function as nurse consultants on the bedside, seeing how to improve trends, improve the healthcare system. You know, anytime I'm opportune to go to the hospital here and we see offices, we see on the wall of the office, nurse consultants. It's has been ingrained into the system, and we have this high representation. So we should also see how can we have this. And I've had a lot of conversations around that as far as nursing Nigeria is concerned. I've heard that there are moves now to move post-basic nursing programs to postgraduate nursing programs. Very, very important, such that we have nurses that are not only having master's program, that they can have the masters and they can be on the ward. They can have their Doctor of Nursing or even PhD, and they will still be on the ward. I know we have some few nurses now that are working on the world. And thank God for Babcock University that has been producing a lot of postgraduate nurses, and we have them now that are PhD holders, and I know a couple of them that are now working in the hospital. We should not only have these nurses that will be working in the clinical in the universities, we should have them also in the clinical environments. Nursing education is expensive. Where do we get the funds? And it's expensive all over the world. In Nigeria, it's very, very expensive. I know there are students here, and you agree with me that anytime you call your parents at home, what's happening, and they'll be like, are you the only child we have? Your brother in this university studying this program is not asking for this, it's not asking for that. Why is it only you? Nursing education is expensive. Professional exams are there, a lot of things that we need money for. Where do we get these funds? In this presentation, I'm going to be speaking in the realm of addressing individual funding. So as a nurse, how do I fund my nursing education? I know there are many of you here, you would like to move to the next level as far as your career is concerned. How can I fund it? And also at the institutional level, how can we fund nursing education as far as our schools, our faculties are concerned? So let's examine some funding models for nursing education. Number one, the government. Establishment of universities offering nursing programs and supporting existing ones. I had my master's at the University of Ibadan, and this UI nursing department in 1965 was established as a joint effort of the federal government of Nigeria, WHO, and UNICEF. So I'm still going to talk about that later in this presentation. And another issue that is very important for us to know that is affecting nursing education in Nigeria is the funding issue. We have realized that we have education in Nigeria below the UNESCO recommendation for developing countries. And the recommendation is that education in Nigeria or in any other developing country should take 10 to 15% of the total budget. But in 2023, I think the budgetary allocation for education generally is around maybe 8.7%. And over the past decade, over 10 years, there is no year that Nigeria has been able to meet this 10 to 15% budgetary allocation for education. And this has culminated in a lot of industrial actions, ASU strike, many months, students at home, and a host of other issues. So more funds must be allocated for the education sector in Nigeria. And I know there are a lot of university lecturers, university dons, academics here. We are all familiar with the TED Fund, and this is a scheme that is providing funds for tertiary education to promote the standard of tertiary education, to maintain physical infrastructure. When you go around, just type on internet, TED Fund projects in Nigeria, you will see a host of those projects scattered all around different universities in Nigeria. And that's really, really wonderful, though there are issues like mismanagement of funds. And recently, I read online that the TED Fund management appointed executives from NANS, that's the National Association of Nigerian Students, to see how they can monitor those projects. They even give them I think a 30-seater boss to move around institutions to see, okay, these contractors, when we give you projects, are you meeting up to standard? Training of lecturers in Nigeria and abroad, that's another important use of TED Fund. And I know some scholars from here, from Nigeria, had utilized these funds to travel out of Nigeria and even remain in Nigeria and have their postgraduate programs. I was reading online also while preparing for this presentation, a publication by Onwe 2018. And this presentation, the writer is from the southeastern part of Nigeria. He or she, I'm not sure, now said that he was part of those that benefited from funds that to have his master's program in the UK. And now that I was reading his PhD thesis on postgraduate nursing education in Nigeria. Funding of research is also very, very important. Though there are a lot of issues that are surrounding TED Fund currently in Nigeria, I read that there are many of the lecturers some of the lecturers that have the funds, there are reports that some of them are not using it for research. Some use it to buy houses, to buy cars, to live big lives, and things like that. And people have complained that this TED Fund is too hard to get and other things like that. I'm still going to talk about grant writing and how this is a major way to fund nursing education in Nigeria. So why do we need to fund nursing research in our institutions? So the second model to fund nursing research is nursing education is through research. So when we increase funds from research, it has a way of improving the standards of nursing education. Infrastructure development. Currently, I'm in the university, I'm in our department here, and I noticed, because when I came here, I studied this program, I studied this school very carefully. How can a school of nursing or department of nursing be founded? I think 1991, and it's now number 16 in the world. What have they done differently that brought them from a very low ranking to the first in Hong Kong? What did they do that brought them to the first in Asia, as big as Asia continent is? This school of nursing, the National School of Nursing, is the first in Asia and the 16th in the world, beating many universities, even from the West, universities in US, Canada, hands down. What have they done? What made them come to this level within this period of time? And one of the things that brought them to this level, we're going to see it. Research is seriously, there's a serious emphasis on research here, and they use these funds that they get funds to build centers in our departments, to fund programs, a lot of funds. Because of time, I would have opened our university website, but if you have time, just go to our website and go and see the lecturers, go and see the funding. Their funds is there. Millions of Hong Kong dollars have been gotten from governments, gotten from different organizations to see how they can improve nursing education in Hong Kong. So curriculum development. So when we have funds, we can use those funds from research to also develop the curriculum. Faculty development, very, very important, right? So university lecturers should not just stay in a place, not just stay in one place. You need to move around. If this was a physical meeting, I would have told you to turn somebody sitting very close to you, tell him, oh, move around. When you move around, you see things from another perspective, from another light, and you can bring those innovations back to your base to challenge the status quo and improve on what we have. Also, research projects, you can fund it when we have funds, scholarship opportunities. I've been able to win a couple of scholarships, which I'm going to talk about in this presentation from my dedication to research, right? So when we have these funds, we can have scholarships to move around different parts of the world and get things done. Partnership and collaboration, very, very, very important. You heard when I was speaking, when I was being introduced by Dr. Maitomi, we've not seen each other face-to-face before, right? I've not seen him before. I think we have not even talked on phone call. I don't think we have talked on phone call before. We just chat on WhatsApp. We met on LinkedIn. It was on LinkedIn that we met. And from that, we have been able to partner, collaborate on different grants. You must collaborate. As nursing lecturers, nursing academics, you can't do it alone. Collaborate widely and wisely. I tell people I mentor. Technology and equipment. Mrs. Eze mentioned this in her presentation, that we need to fund technology. We need more equipment, right? We need more equipment. One of the things that intrigued me about Hong Kong and about this institution is that when you get here, when you step here, it's a smart building. Step here, the lights come on, right? When you leave, the lights go off and things like that. There is people will stay in the office till like 10 p.m., 11 p.m., working their fingers to the bone, getting research grants, research funds, and different things like that. So when we get research funds, you can use them to improve our technological capacity as an institution, right? And still on this note, I had a major issue when I got to Hong Kong because I had not conducted a systematic review before, and during my PhD, the first year of my PhD, I needed to do a systematic review on the effects of mobile health interventions for psychological issues of women diagnosed with breast cancer receiving chemotherapy in my first year in 2020. And here I come to Hong Kong. Before I have not had access to these databases. I did not know how to use Scopus. I did not know how to use Web of Science, APA Psych Info. I've not, one of the things I tell people, when you want to step out of Nigeria to go and maybe study abroad, make sure you get there on time, because the early part of your program, you are going to use that to adjust and learn and bridge the gaps, those things that you did not know when you are in Nigeria, because you are going to be competing. When I got here, students from mainland China, 25-year-old PhD student, 26-year-old, in their master's program, they already knew, they did systematic review in their master's program. Some of them I presented a paper in Japan some months ago, and a master's student came to present a systematic review. I was just looking at him like this. And this systematic review we are presenting, the guys from Indonesia, a nurse. That systematic review we are presenting, I had the experience just some months, some years back, 2020. And now I've been looking for opportunities to see how to now collaborate with scholars from Nigeria. Okay, if you have this, we are here, have facilities, we can collaborate with those at home and see how we can work together and release research findings out. Community outreach. One of the reasons why we have universities is to improve the community. And this is another area that is being emphasized a lot. And I thank God for our scholars in Nigeria, professors in Nigeria. They have so much made our PhD programs such a way that many of them are intervention studies. And that's very, very brilliant of our professors in Nigeria. That's so great because these are the trends, current trends. We don't just want to do studies that are just maybe just mixed method or just cross-sectional studies, no matter how large it is. We want to do intervention studies that we can use, we can develop interventions. For example, for my PhD, I developed a mobile application. This mobile app was used by Nigerian women. I called it the Kimonos breast cancer application. And this app was used by Nigerian women diagnosed with breast cancer receiving chemotherapy at Luth and Lasuf, right? So with this, we're able to develop, and we need funds, right? So I'm still going to speak about how I got funds for that to be able to develop, because the funds I have for my PhD, I needed even more to be able to develop a mobile application and things like that. Please let me know when I have 10 more minutes so I can try to round up. I might not see your chat box, so you can just interrupt me and tell me I have 10 more minutes, so I will know how to round up. Thank you. So, thank you, sir. So in Hong Kong, I noticed that they also have a research grants council. So we have grant writing seasons such that the professors at some parts, some periods in the year, all the major thing they are doing is writing grants. And it is important for us to note that the work of a professor is majorly research. Recently, I put a post on my Twitter, X, and I was saying how I was able to publish a lot of papers, studies between 2020 and 2023. A nurse from Nigeria commented on it, that since we have these papers now, you can just relax, just be supervising students, just be supervising nursing research of students. And I patiently educated him that as a professor, your work is not just to supervise research. You must have your own funding for research. And this is important because the government of Nigeria, another area they need to also work more. I know we have people that are close to government parastatals here, that we need to work more on having more funds. We have TED fund. I'm not sure how effective our nurses have used the TED fund, if we have nurses that are getting the research grants. But here, the system here has been built in such a way that it's only if you cannot even be lazy. The system has not permitted you to be lazy, because before you can become an assistant professor, you will have demonstrated that you can get grants. So there are grant writing seasons that every some month of the year, they all lock themselves up. Of course, they teach, but not much teaching. In fact, the work of professors is not teaching. You can teach, you should teach, but not majorly teaching. You have the major work is to get funds, research grants, and use it to improve nursing and to improve the communities. And of course, supervise PhD students and things like that, and administration. So there are a lot of, and I understand the context in Nigeria because, as we're going to see later, the funds, we don't have much funds to recruit staff. For example, in our institution here, we have different category of staff, in their hundreds, right? In just one faculty of nursing, hundreds of staff. So we have postdoctoral scholars, their rank and file. We have research associates, we have research assistants, we have assistant professors that are practice nursing, that they are doctor of nursing, right? We have research assistant professors. You can see it on our website. We have the associate professors, we have the professors, we have different manner of staff doing a lot of things. So that has eased is professors of administrative work. So an average professor should not be running around because students have nursing council examination. No. There are people that do that. Lecturers should do that. In fact, we have the professorial cadre of staff. That is the assistant professor, associate professor, full professor, like research assistant professor in that rank. And we have lecturers in that rank. So the lecturers are the ones that will be monitoring students in their posting, monitoring, teaching. They teach a lot. They're just teaching. Their promotion is assessed on how well they teach and things like that, but not on their research output. But these ones, their promotion is majorly assessed on how they are getting research funds for the university and how they are publishing in high impact. And that's why you see that the university or the School of Nursing here is highly ranked, because hey, the research is much. They are just turning it out anyhow. The funds are, when the funds are there, an average professor here can have like 1 or 2 postdoctoral scholars. We have their own research assistants, associates, part-time, full-time, working with them. So every professor should have their research team. Such that with their research team, they're able to do research. Because an average professor, you cannot now sit down on your own and say you want to write the proposal, write it from grants, write it from beginning to the end. It's very laborious. So you distribute it. Okay, you write this part, you write this part. Even when you're writing a paper, the postdoctoral scholar, I started my postdoc just October, right? Just this October, maybe 2 months. And within that short period of time, worked on 2 papers, worked on, written grants, just working on research anyhow, right? So each professor has that team that they can work together. So it's not just the professor doing it, because if the professors in Nigeria will be doing it alone, it's so laborious. We need hands to be able to push forth that agenda. So and these are other funds that are available, different ones. And very important is the Hong Kong PhD fellowship scheme. Another way that they improve the ranking of the university here, the School of Nursing here, is through the HKPFS. So the HKPFS is a maximum funding of 332,500 Hong Kong dollars for 36 months. So with that, in fact, there are 2 categories of funding for PhD scholars in Hong Kong. There is the funding by the university, by the government, which is the HKPFS, and there is the funding by the university. So anybody that gets admission in an average university in Hong Kong, we have the RGC universities, like 7 or 8 universities, automatically is free, in quotes, because we're going to pay our school fees, but we're going to be paid stipends. We call it studentship. And those that now get this HKPFS is really prestigious globally, and with that they can fund their research. So these are various funding opportunities available. So this is the HKPFS that I talked about, right? So the funds are there, and they also have funds for conferences, presented at various conferences, like 3 conferences, while offering my PhD. So this is another major way to fund our nursing education. So this is my graduation picture. I graduated just some weeks ago, right? So another funding scheme that I also want to talk about is funding for Doctor of Nursing program. And these are the graduates from our program, Doctor of Nursing program, that was conducted recently. So they are clinicians majorly. And of course, these are the PhD nursing graduates. So there is also funding for postdoctoral programs, right? So I envision a time that is going to come in nursing Nigeria that we have postdoctoral programs, residents. I'm not sure if we have them. If we have them, I'm not sure if they are popular, so that our professors can have their postdoctoral scholars working in partnership with them, working together. With that, we can improve, we can turn out papers. With that, we can get funds. We can do a lot of things if we have this scheme, the postdoctoral fellowship scheme. And 50 awardees are chosen for a period of 36 months in full-time appointment as a postdoctoral fellow at a UGC-funded university. So that's the scheme I'm currently being part of. Another way to fund nursing program, another model, is through faith-based organizations. And at this point, I want to applaud Seventh-day Adventist Church for this wonderful initiative over the years, not just now, not just yesterday, not just 1 or 2 or 3 years, over the years. When people ask me, where can I do my postgraduate program? one of the major universities I recommend is Babcock University. I studied the program, I studied the university staff, I studied the rates of turnover, I studied how they finish the program. Nobody wants to sleep there. As one of my lecturers in my undergraduate will say sleep there. Nobody wants to sleep there, right? You want to finish on record time and things like that. And I give that to Babcock University. They've changed the dynamics of things. They've challenged status quo. And that's a lot. And not only Babcock University, other private universities too in Nigeria are currently doing that and seeing faith-based organizations seeing how to improve the scheme of things. And thank God for Sigma too. Sigma is another wonderful organization, part of the organizer of this program that have been able to organize. When you go to this website, we see a lot of grants, research opportunities that are available for nurses. I was privileged to win the Oncology Nursing Foundation doctoral academic scholarship award while I was on PhD. And one of the things I tell my friends, mentees, that are going for their PhD programs, don't say that's not been done before. In fact, one of the prayers I prayed when coming to Hong Kong was that what nobody has achieved on this land, I want to achieve it. What nobody has gotten. And I think I'm the first nurse from Hong Kong that will have this prestigious, it's really prestigious academic scholarship from this organization based in the US, right? So this was the funding I used to develop my mobile application. And to interest you to know that a colleague of mine in Nigeria currently, she won this in one of the universities in Nigeria, public university in Nigeria, doing PhD, having oncology nursing background too. She got this scholarship too. We worked together. She sent her proposal to me. We checked it together and things like that. And I encouraged her, make sure I got this last year. I was the only Black nurse from Africa that got it. You must be the only Black from Africa that will get it, though you are in Nigeria. And one thing is that these funds are there waiting for people to get, right? But of course, there is a way to go about it. We need to make sure that your writing is to the standard. I'm still going to talk about training for nurse lecturers as far as grant applications is concerned. And I also got another fund from this same organization that helped me to attend the Johns Hopkins Nursing Leadership Academy. Yes, and I am a fan of nursing leadership. I want to see nursing improve. I want to contribute to my quota as a nurse leader, and I was able to get that. Another funding opportunity that comes on model is from private organizations like the Budget Trust for Nursing and International Council of Nurses, and I was able to get another funding, right, from this organization, and that was you had in my citation. I was part of the Global Nursing Leadership Institute, a policy program for senior nurse leaders worldwide, where nurse leaders are trained as far as policy issues are concerned. And I was the only nurse from Nigeria.
You have 3 minutes more, sir.
3 minutes. Oh, okay. I
3
asked you to tell me
minutes
when
to
it's 10
go.
minutes. It's
Thank
okay.
you,
It's okay.
sir.
Thank you. I will round up now. So I got this award, and after that, I was certified as a global nurse consultant. WHO, UNICEF, UK, and a host of other international organizations can also see efforts to fund nursing education. I want to applaud Nursing and Medical Council of Nigeria at this juncture because they've been able to contribute a lot to international, local, and international collaboration by partnering with organizations like Bayan Global, Women for Health, WHO, and a host of other organizations to see how they can improve the curriculum of the NMCN and a host of other things to see how to improve capacity of nurse lecturers. I know many of us have been part of such initiatives in the past. And wealthy individuals. This is YK Power, one of the influential people in Hong Kong, rich people. So he was able to provide funds that was used to establish the Foundation Center for Nursing Excellence in Chronic Illness Care in 2014 in our school here, and I was able to get another scholarship during my PhD from this center. So recommendations for nursing in Nigeria, let me run through them. Grant writing should be an integral part of the training of nurse educators in Nigeria. Continuing education programs in grant writing should be organized for nurse lecturers. Brain drain found among nurse lecturers should be transformed into brain gain. What is brain gain? Brain gain is a concept I coined that when nurse lecturers move abroad, some might not want to come back to Nigeria due to one reason or the other, but they still want to contribute, right? They have not forgotten Nigeria. Their arts are still in Nigeria, and they might not want to come for various reasons, maybe because of the funding issues for their research and things like that, but they still want to collaborate. They still want to impact nurses in Nigeria. So let's see how we can collaborate and we can turn this into a gain, not just drain. Policy papers should be written by nurse academics, researchers, administrators, and widely circulated to advocate for improved funding of nursing education. As funds are provided, faculties and departments of nursing should urgently recruit. We need a lot of staff in our departments, a lot of staff that will be monitoring different things. As we get the funds, let's just start employing them like that. So build the research capacity of our institutions. Research staff like RAs, associates, postdoctoral scholars should be employed to work under the leadership and guidance of senior lecturers or assistant professors, associate professors, and full professors. As must are employed, nursing professors should be freed of other duties and focus more on research. ICT tools and access to databases for research should be provided for nursing institutions. We did research sometimes back 2 years ago. We were looking at the ICT competencies of Nigerian nurses. How well do they even know these databases? Do they know these tools they can use, Turnitin, and all these other things like that? Do they know them? Do they know Scopus? And what we found, we'll see publish it very soon. It's really, really alarming. We need to do more as far as increasing awareness and their skills in using these devices. Funds should be allocated for nurse lecturers to travel to world-class institutions as visiting scholars. Very, very important. Our university heads, deans, lecturers, professors, they should get funds, visit university, come to Hong Kong, go to Canada, go there for 2 weeks and see how things are done. Come back to Nigeria and come and change and come and improve and come and give us this feel from what we got abroad. Also go for MSc, for PhD, and see how we can bring back the knowledge gained for the improvement of Nigerian nursing. Now, other political institutions should work together to liaise with political figures in Nigeria to place nursing at the forefront of their agenda. NGOs and governmental organizations should work together, partner together to address funding issues. As you can see from my presentation, the government cannot do it alone. NGOs cannot do it alone. We must work together to move forward nursing research, education, practice, and other things together. In conclusion, nursing education in Nigeria has come a long way. However, I believe there is more. In the words of Florence Nightingale, for we will nurse, our nursing is something which, unless we are making progress every year, every month, every week, we are going back. No system shall endure which does not match. Investing in nursing is a wise investment. These are my references. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Dr. Akinbade. Thank you so much for your apt, concise presentation. God bless you.
Yeah.
Yes, so we need to put up a position paper. We'll start from there, collaboration. So we need to put up a position paper to probably our nursing and midwifery councils, and then various universities offering nursing, probably schools of nursing, so that they have your recommendations and then probably work on them. So that moving forward, our conference will have an impact to contribute to the face of nursing. So thank you once again. Now it's time for questions. I've not seen any question in the chat box. Does it mean we don't have questions? Am I audible? Are there questions for Dr. Akinbade?
I think someone is raising his hand.
Wow.
Not Steven.
Okay. Now, Steven, can you please go ahead?
Okay, thank you very much for the wonderful presentation. I learned a lot from your presentation. And I'm happy to hear that this short presentation is actually for the Nigerian nurses. I'm a student, a PhD student in the University of KwaZulu-Natal, in the Department of Nursing. So how do we, hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Quiet, please. We can hear you.
We can hear you.
I'm more interested in the brain gain. Actually, what you have presented so far is good, and then there must be a way out, because actually we don't have much of these postdoctoral programs in Nigeria, and our PhD programs because of funding has been a major challenge. So how do we collaborate with some of these our advanced nurses who are now abroad, like you and others who are in other universities that have gone far, to see how each of the Nigerian universities, both government and the private universities, like Bapol University, could come together to see how we can get a particular working model for the growth of research, so that we can be able to have, even not as much as what we have in the developed state, something similar, so that we can begin to grow from there, because research is actually the major problem. Because our lecturers in the university now, they are have been turned into just advanced teachers without having access to internet, ICT facilities, and other things. So we can only, some can even hardly use computer. But they know how to prepare lecture notes from some old notebooks. So how do we come together to see how this research could be a reality, especially in the Nigerian university system? Thank you very much.
Wow. Thank you so much, sir, for that brilliant, insightful question. It shows you really followed the presentation, and I'm glad to know you are doing your PhD in South Africa, another wonderful country that is really getting it right in nursing education. One of my major concerns is not even that Nigerian nurses are moving out for PhD or masters. The concern actually is that when many of them now settle down there, their research majorly is used to improve Canada, United States, right? Used to improve United States, United Kingdom. It was only few that have research interests that are, coming back to Nigeria, and there are many reasons for that. Some will have tried at some point and they notice a lot of bottlenecks, a lot of stress, and you say, let me just settle down in this place and do my research and use the funds I have here. But we still have some that are still passionate about networking. Now, I have been trying over the past years to see how to build a network of Nigerian nurse scholars abroad. And we have been successful, right? We have been able to connect. I know many scholars in various countries, United States, Canada. And the interesting thing is that many of them are open for collaboration. But of course, if you don't, Bible says, he will ask, receives, he will seek, finds. And so he will knocks, it shall be opened, right? So many of them are on LinkedIn, are on Twitter, X, they are there. On ResearchGate, they are on those platforms. We need to reach out to them, know them, look for those that have research interests that are similar to yours. Send an email, shoot an email, attend conferences where they are presenting. That's another beautiful way to connect with them, right? Attend their conference they are presenting, collect their contacts, reach out to them and see how it really helps us. One of the ways that it will help us is that I noticed that there are some institutions now in Nigeria that they are not able to afford. Many scholars in Nigeria, they will do very good research. Our schools, universities in Nigeria are producing very good research, high quality research, right? From the master's and PhD programs, intervention studies, and they will go and dump it in a local journal that is not online, that doesn't have impact factor, very quality work. So how can we build a system whereby we can collaborate with some of these institutions so that some of their scholars can work together on those papers, and they can be, in fact, some of those institutions we pay for the APC, the publication fees in those higher impact factor journals. So this is a way we can leverage these opportunities and see how we can bring them. And let's create an enabling environment. When they are bringing initiatives, many of them want to bring initiatives, but they try to contact us, they try to do this, and we are not forthcoming. They send us an email, we didn't respond. Yes, Nigeria is very busy. We are very busy place with a lot of things. I know we are very busy, but when they are trying to reach out, let's make sure we give them listening ears. Let's open our hands to them. And some of them, they don't even want our money, right? Some of them, the amount they are earning abroad is enough for them to do a lot of things. They don't want, it's not about the money, it's about giving back. So let's see how we can bring some of them together to come and work and improve our institutions. Thank you. I'm not sure if I answered that question, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. I got some questions on the chat box, and then one of which is, how can post-BNSC graduates that want to go for their master's programs abroad through scholarships, how can they go about it?
Thank you
And then
very
there's
much.
another one that says, since you are in a highly placed institution out there, can you use your good knowledge to push in some opportunities that can liberate nursing practice here in Nigeria?
Thank you so much for that question. I'm so much passionate about mentorship. I'm still young, right? I'm still young. So I'm very close to the younger generation. I have a lot of mentees. I have a lot of mentees in Nigeria. I teach in Nigeria virtually. Some of my students wrote council examination and they had 100% just some weeks back, and they did research, right? And that's another way. Supervisors, we need supervisors that we collaborate together with our students in Nigeria to supervise their research, right? So I supervised like 8, 9, 10 research for this, and some of them we have been working together. They will need to start publishing those findings. I told them from the word go, I can't be a supervisor, I will not publish your research, right? It's very important. So now, one of the reasons why Bachelor of Nursing Science graduates are not able to access some of these opportunities is because some of them do not have publications. I wanted to receive the Commonwealth scholarships when I was doing my master's at the University of Ibadan. So I applied, I was invited for interview in Abuja, and I got there, and they asked me what are certifications. I'm registered nurse, midwife, public health. I said, no. What are other certifications you have? I said, none, zero. Okay, what publications do you have? No, I said none, zero. How many conferences have you presented? None, zero. How many community projects have you done? None, zero. I just came back. I wasted money by flight to Abuja from Ngomosho. Came back by night bus. Of course, I can't, they didn't give me. How would they give me? When I saw and we had just two nurses that came all over Nigeria. We saw medical doctors, they came with their publications, pharmacists with their publications. Of course, they got it. And from that day, 2016, I made up my mind that no nurse close to me will experience this. We set up an organization that is working on building capacity. And now, many of my mentees, they are now in the University of Alberta. One just started a master's in University of Alberta, the 5th in the world, right? Some are in the US. That common scholarship I did not get. One of my mentees got 2 of even 3, and now she's in the UK. She picked one in the University of Sheffield in the UK, right? So this is the way. Many of the undergraduates, they don't know, just want to leave university, just graduate. No, from your 400 level, you must take your research serious. Take it serious. Do community project, present in conferences. Now, our Bachelor of Nursing Science students, I have 2 abstracts in my mail now. Now, someone sent yesterday, a University of Jos students from our RN research, she wants to submit it for presentation in a conference. That one is already building, and now she has an abstract already accepted for publication in a journal, published already. So that one has been building her capacity and is getting ready to win. She will get a scholarship, right? You will get it if you have all this information and you're able to prepare early. That's very important. Thank you. Okay, so the next question on how am I using, I've said it actually.
Those are the questions.
Okay.
For other questions, we will respond personally. So thank you so much for coming. And then we appreciate your presentation. And God bless you and all yours. Thank you. So we move on to the third resource person. And then I will be the one to read a citation. Okay. Okay. Dr. B. Ade Oshifogun obtained a nursing PhD from the University of Illinois at Chicago. She completed a master's degree in nursing education and critical care from Governor State University, Illinois, and an MS in nutrition from the University of Ibadan, Nigeria. She has over 38 years of clinical management and teaching experience, working in Africa, Europe, and the United States. Dr. Ade Oshifogun held management positions in home health and and acute and long-term healthcare organizations. She worked as a joint commission surveyor and conducted accreditation site visits for ASEN. Her teaching experience includes graduate and undergraduate courses in health assessment, nursing leadership and management, nutrition, anatomy and physiology, pathophysiology research, EBP projects, informatics, nursing theory, curriculum development, and evaluation. Her most recent position was an endowed nursing chair at Andrews University, where she previously served as the School of Nursing chair. Dr. Ade Oshifogun coordinated the development of an online Doctor of Nursing. And please move the slide. Our most recent position was an endowed nursing chair at Andrews University, where she previously served as a School of Nursing chair. Dr. Ade Oshifogun coordinated the development of an online Doctor of Nursing and Bachelor of Science in Nursing completion programs. She developed collaborative educational agreements between the university, international, and local colleges. Dr. Ade Oshifogun served in the U.S. Army as a training officer for a battalion. Our research foci are educational environment assessment, immigrant research, COPD, nutrition, obesity, culture, and diversity. She authored manuscripts in scholarly journals and has presented her research findings at several national and international scientific conferences. Dr. Ade Oshifogun is a constructivist educator who actively involves student learning by pulling from their life experiences. She believes everyone can learn within the right environment. Please welcome with me, Dr. Ade Oshifogun.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me right? Yes. Okay. Awesome. Thanks for the opportunity to present here today. I want to thank the Alpha Beta Gamma branch of the Sigma Theta Tau, and also thank the AOW Inc. that put this together. I'm very grateful that you brought me back home in the sense that I was an educator at Babcock University. That was where I started my career as an educator. So thank you so much for the opportunity to come back home to give what I can give you. I want to sound a disclaimer, and the disclaimer is the fact that I work now at New Mexico State University, but my presentation does not represent their views. This is my view. Okay, I need to be able to share my slide if anyone will give me that opportunity to do that.
You are enabled down.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. Slideshow. Okay. So the topic that was given to present to you today is a role of nursing education in promoting quality healthcare delivery. And I'm thinking you are thinking about Nigeria, and I will try and address that in terms of Nigeria as well as in terms of the experiences I have in the other countries and continents that I've worked. So I talked to you about that already. So the objective of my presentation are threefold. One, I hope by the end of this presentation, you'll be able to define quality healthcare and nursing education. And I also hope that you can discuss the development of nursing education and impact on quality healthcare delivery, as well as explore future directions and challenges. in nursing education. So this is going to be an interactive presentation. I am noted to do interactives. So if you want to just pick up your phone right now and scan the QR code, if you are not able to scan the QR code, I want you to do this, send this text to this number, or you can go online to this particular site. And when you get there, you will have to accept their whatever they give as a disclaimer for you. And then please keep your phone on that page, because I have about 5 interactive questions that we're going to do today. So if someone can give me a heads up to let me know that you have copied these or you are there before I move, that would be helpful. I really cannot see all of you, so anyone can just let me know. I hope you are still.
We
Okay,
have it,
thank you.
but we can give people about a few seconds more to get
sure.
that.
Okay, sure. Okay, we are going to continue in because I have a few things I'd like to share with you today. All right, so we're going to go straight into the first one. So if you are there already, it's just a matter of you responding. I want you to define quality healthcare in 3 to 4 words. And as you respond, it will show on this interactive page. Okay. All right. Experiencing delivering care satisfaction, best patient satisfaction. All right. Delivering improved outcome based on outcome. Awesome. Improved based delivering patients promptness, holistic. Wow. Let's give a few more seconds. Promptness, best, optimal, improve care. It looks like high satisfaction. Care seems to come in there more than any other thing. All right, so thank you for responding to that. So let's see, what does quality health care actually mean? Okay, I have to go to the next one. Enter. Sometimes this has a mind of its own. Okay. All right. Okay. Oh, that's not good. Okay, here we go. It moved. Okay. So what is quality healthcare? I want you to put particular emphasis on established standards. So you can have quality healthcare without having established standards. And in your responses, you mentioned patient-centered care, effectiveness, effective care, safety, timeliness of care, efficiency, efficient care, equity, care coordination, informed technology and innovation. I know the last speaker talked about technology and innovation, and patient and family engagement. As we go through this, I want you to just throw your mind's eye back at the healthcare delivery in Nigeria. Are you seeing all of this? Are you seeing all of these established standards for quality healthcare? All right, so now let's also look at nursing education. I know you're all familiar with nursing education, but let's look at it in the terms of its definition. It's formal and informal process. It involves knowledge, skills, and competencies. It also prepares people for complex and dynamic health environment. Some of the key components include didactic teaching, clinical simulation. I want you to particularly look at the ones I have highlighted or bolded, which is evidence-based practice, cultural competence, continuing education, leadership in management, and legal. So ask yourself, I think most of us here are educators. Are all these bolded ones included in your curriculum? Let's do another poll real quick. So the other poll says, describe the link between quality healthcare and nursing education in 2 to 3 words. So let's do that. You should still be on that page. Don't leave that page where you have the QR code. So in 2 to 3 words, what is the link between quality healthcare and nursing education? Evidence-based practice. Please mute yourself. I will appreciate if you mute yourself, please. Thank you. Evidence-based practice. Good. Patient-focused practice. Awesome. Let's get a few more. Okay. Excellent. Evidence, excellent. Research translational. All right. So these are the links between quality healthcare and nursing education. Now let's see what we have here. So the intersection between nursing education and quality healthcare. In the first instance, you were so correct, evidence-based practice. If nursing education focus more on evidence-based practice in their curriculum design, it's going to link or affect quality healthcare. Interprofessional collaboration. So we should be teaching our students on how to collaborate. So it's not a matter of just getting to the hospitals and working in silos. I'm a nurse and that's all I focus on. No, collaboration with physical therapists, with doctors, and all other healthcare professionals, even pharmacists. We need to do all that collaboration to make healthcare worth the while. Patient-centered care. We should focus on patient-centered care in our nursing institutions. And that patient-centered care includes telehealth. Because not all patients will be able to have opportunity to come to the hospital or see specialists. So this is where telehealth comes into it. And we're going to talk a little more about telehealth. Critical thinking skills is important so that when the nurse gets out there, he or she is able to critically think and decide on the care of the patient. I'm sure things have changed, but when I was in Nigeria, there's a lot of doctors ordering stuff and nurses just doing what the doctors order. We don't challenge the doctors, and I'm not saying challenge them in a bad way, but suggest or have a way of letting the other health professionals know that you're also critically thinking through the patient's care. Leadership. We need to make sure we train our nurses so that they are best leaders out there. And the last presenter talked about leadership development. This is so important. In developed world, he also mentioned the Doctor of Nursing Practice degree, and that is the one that is really preparing people to work at the bedside, and we prepare them to be leaders. And that's how we improve healthcare in each country that I've worked in. Because this Doctor of Nursing Practice degree prepares leaders, prepare evidence-based practice people, and also they are prepared in different roles, like different specialties to be able to work. Professional development is very important. What I see us do in most cases, maybe it's changed, is that once we finish nursing school, that's where our study finishes. We need to train our nursing students to know that nursing is a lifelong learning, and they need to continuously improve their learning and learn more by attending conferences, by presenting, and in doing evidence-based research. Technological integration, I'm going to spend a little more time on that. But technological integration is very important because if we teach our students how to utilize technology, when they get out there, if the technology is available in the healthcare system, they will be able to apply those technology. And I will tell you a lot of advantages to having technology innovations in our healthcare institutions. So technology in nursing education, one thing that we are very good at in Nigeria is simulation. Most schools have simulation. I don't know how advanced your simulation is, but most schools will have some simulation. And we also have here in United States and other part of the world, we also have virtual reality. Virtual reality or augmented reality is where the student is exposed to real situations and they have to, you see, they use these goggles that help them to really perceive what we call a virtual reality and be able to function in that virtual reality and learn without being afraid of making errors. E-learning platforms. I noticed that I'm not sure most institutions have e-learning platforms, but it's very important to have e-learning platforms like Moodle, like Blackboard, other examples like D2L, in depending on what you can afford in the country. But these e-learning platforms help collaboration, helps the online education for our students. I know we all have mobile apps. Our students have mobile apps and they use that for collaboration and communication, which is great as well. One thing that in Nigeria is not widespread is EHR. EHR is so important that it avoids error in patient management. Is also a way by which management is continuously transferred from one healthcare visit to another healthcare visit. And it also affords communication between all cadres of healthcare professions, as well as communication between hospitals, institutions, and clinics. So EHR is something that we need to look for and teach our students when it's available in the practice setting. So let's look at another set of technology in healthcare nursing education and telehealth and telemedicine. We talk a lot about this in the developed world. Telehealth and telemedicine is a way by which we reach the unreached population, people that are really far remote. And the doctor can talk to them and treat them by telehealth or telemedicine through video conferencing or even phone calls. Sometimes we are able to manage patients on a far remote area. And sometimes we don't want to, I personally, sometimes I don't want to go to the hospital. Or, is my time over? Can you please mute yourself? Thank you. So sometimes I don't want to go to the hospital, so I depend on telehealth. I just book telehealth with my doctor, and anywhere in the world I am, I can talk to my doctor. He can examine me telehealth-wise, and I get all the treatment I wanted. And 3D printing gamification is what we use in designing. You can see here, in designing our concepts that we teach the students using games. And we can use all these different concepts and combine them in gamification. We can use that. It's still part of technology, nursing education. Electronic books, I know this is available in Nigeria and resources also available in Nigeria. So these are different areas of technology that we use in nursing education. What's the impact of technology on nursing education? For instance, simulation and virtual learning will enable the student to have critical thinking and decision-making skills. If you use online platforms, you can see they have increased access to educational resources and online courses as well. I've talked about EHR. Collaborative learning tools is also very good for impacting practice technology in the practice setting. Mobile apps are very available to both patients everywhere here now. We call them wearable apps. people can monitor their blood pressure, they can monitor even their EKG, electrocardiogram, just using wearable apps. So they don't have to actually be in the hospital. We can send them home. My sister was in hospital recently, and I just laughed. And this was in Nigeria, or this is still in Nigeria, and what she went for was a small thing, and she was there for 2 weeks. I'm like, really? If we have telehealth, if we have these wearable apps, she don't have to be in the hospital. They can give her those apps, she will be at home, and they can monitor her from home. And then that would decrease cost in the hospital. She will also be in an environment where she'll be taken care of because she's in her own natural environment. The risk of acquiring infections and nosocomial infections is even less at that point. And we talk about telehealth. It will be a good thing to expose our students to telehealth so that they will not have quick access to resources in the hospital setting. Now, let's also do another poll, really. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I want you to select your perception of the state of technology use in nursing education in Nigeria, with 0 denoting little or no technology, and 10 the best technology that could be. So if you just quickly do that, we'll see what your perceptions are. Okay. All right. I'm still looking at, let's give one more second for respond. It looks as majority are saying maybe 3 to 4. So that is okay. It's good to start with, but we can do better. And if you chose 10, 9 or 10, you must be in a high-end institution that they have a lot of technology. So let's look at, let's go to the next slide. So when we talk about technology in nursing practice, what are we actually talking about? We're talking about EHR. We also talk about clinical decision support systems where, for instance, in our EHR or in our what we call documentation systems, we have alert systems, we have systems that will combine patients' symptoms or patient presentations, and it will give you a clinical decision immediately and say, hey, you need to call the doctor for this, or you need to monitor blood sugar for this patient, or this is something, it will highlight it and alert you what to do. We also have what we call the barcode medication administration. For some of you that are used to that, but barcode medication administration is so important to prevent errors. And what that means is that we have patients in the hospital that have what we call QR codes on their wristbands because we give everybody a patient ID band. And so before you give that patient medication, you have your medication card and a scanner. You scan the patient wrist and then you scan the patient's chart. And that way, if you are going to give the wrong patient the wrong medication, it will not let you. It will alert you immediately. So it will not even let you give that medication at all. So the risk of making medication error is really, really low when you have barcode medication administration. But let's talk about telehealth and telemedicine. Smart devices and wearables, I mentioned them earlier on. We also have medication dispensing systems. And what that is for every unit in the hospital, we have the medication dispensing systems where you have to input your own ID or your own either scan to see what you are the one taking the medication, and this is the medication you're taking out of that patient's of the medication dispensing systems. And when you get that out, it has to be the correct medication. And before you give it to the patient, you have to scan it again. So we have all of these are all put in place to prevent error. We also have point of care testing. I'm sure you have that in Nigeria as well. And biometric identification, we use the thumb, we use the eyes for biometric identification of the staff and sometimes for the patient. Patient portals is one of the best that has happened to us because the patient can access all their information. I just saw my doctor last week, for instance. I can go into this portal and I see all the tests that I did. I'll see doctor's notes that's written. Everything is in there for me. So I can even take care of my own health myself. I can decide this is what it is. I can get second opinion. I can read more about it. So I'm educated about my own health because the patient portals, there's nothing hidden. Patient portals are just open for patients to go in and see their care. They can even question some of the care and say, why did you do this? Or this is, for instance, I see some lab results and I call up my doctor using patient portal, or I can text, not text, write him an email to the patient portal and say, I have a problem with this. My potassium is low. What do you want to do? And he can respond to me. That would eliminate me going to the hospital. And he sends all my medication to the pharmacy. I just go and collect it from there. So robotic assistants and communication systems, these are all available through technology in nursing practice. I know Nigeria still has some ways to go, but it's good that we understand that these technologies, strategies are out there for use. So what's the impact of technology on nursing practice? So we talk about decreasing error. We're talking about point of care decision making in quick, affordable remote care. That is for the telehealth and telemedicine. We talked about patient portals already and easy and effective communication. You can communicate with your doctor and everybody in the healthcare through patient portals. And we have nurses monitoring it every time. So if the doctor is not even monitoring it, the nurses can point it out to the doctor to say, you have a message from a patient that wants this and that. Mobile devices are very useful in effective communication and training and continuing education using the LMS or whatever system you want to use in technology-wise is the latest advance. It helps the people to see the latest advancements and best practices in healthcare because that's what we call evidence-based practice. So I think I missed. Okay, let's go to this one quickly. On the scale of 1 to 10, can you select your perception of the state of technology in nursing practice? The one we did for ahead was that of nursing education. I need you to do this one now for nursing practice. Okay, it looks as if most of the responses are 0 to 2 and 3 to 4, a few 5 to 6. That's really going to create a challenge because how can you, even if you teach the students technology, how can they apply it in the healthcare setting when it's not existent? So we have some work to do. So I looked up the current status of technology used in nursing education in Nigeria. And we have a few e-learning platforms. Online resources are there, collaborative tools are there, where you can use mobile learning and simulation labs. That's all that I could find. So what happened to the rest of them? We have a long way to go, but we shouldn't give up. We should keep trying. So we have challenges. One of the challenges that you might have is resource constraint. Where are you going to get funds to purchase and maintain technology? It's not enough to purchase it, but what about to maintain it? What about training? You need to train faculty educators who will be using and integrating this into their curriculum. Because at this point, I'm not sure how many people know how to use technology in nursing education. So that's going to be a challenge to do, what is doable. Then there's a digital divide. It's not everyone that will have access to technology among our students. So what can we do to provide that equity in their learning experiences? Let's do this poll real quick. What solutions will you suggest to mitigate the challenges? In 3 to 5 words, what solutions? We've identified those three challenges, what do you think will be the solution? Teaching. Okay. Funding, that's a good one. Definitely, funding. Collaboration, excellent. Workshops, great. That's similar to teaching. Regular habits, relearning, mindset. Whoever said that is awesome. Mindset, we need to change our mindset. Unlearning, that's similar to mindset. Monitoring, evaluation, okay. Habits. All right, thank you for your contributions to this question. So what do I suggest? So these are strategies that you can use. First of all, to make it work in Nigeria, you need infrastructure improvement. The last presenter talked about infrastructure. Internet connectivity is so important. Ain't nothing you can do without internet connectivity, because all this stuff I've mentioned to you with technology is all internet and electrical access. And I know if Nigeria is still what it used to be, we still have a long way to go with that. And so my suggestion is to have private and government agencies. Sometimes Nigeria think the government have to do everything. It's high time we start thinking about private enterprises to provide this infrastructure for us. Resource allocation and funding, you mentioned that. And I think we're at a point where we as nurses need to advocate for increased funding. The last person talked about grants, the last speaker talked about grants. Grants is this way to go. You will get money to do what you need to do. If educators are not writing grants, they are doing injustice to their students and to their institution. Because actually, I'm writing grants now where actually I'm not teaching next semester because my grant will cover my teaching. So it's just the way it is. And so the university doesn't have to pay me. The grant will pay my salary. So that way you can, if you write grants, you get money in, it will fund all the stuff you want it to fund. Partnership with tech companies. I don't think you guys have thought about that before. If you have tech companies, you can partner with them for reduced rates, for quick protocol, do this and they will do that for you. Those partnerships does work. You all mentioned faculty training. That's very important because if faculty don't know what to do, they need to have development to use that. Collaborative partnerships. We don't think about discounted or donated technological resources because we always think about buying new. No. You don't have to buy new. There are things out there that are discounted or donated. And also we think that we work in silos. There's no reason why we can't take students from Babcock to another university to go and learn something if they have the resources there. So we can collaborate with other institutions. Definitely the government has a role to play too. They have to set their priorities right to support in technology in education. I think I have more slides to this. Student access programs. Students have to access affordable technology. We have to make sure we provide them for them. Sometimes we think of students buying. In the United States, most of our students don't buy. They loan. And if we have private enterprises that can do that, that will really help a lot. Our students loan their books. When they finish with the books, they send it back to the bookstore. And the bookstore buy it back from them. That reduces the money they spend. The same thing, they can loan technology equipment and return it when they finish. Then for faculty, we need to seriously think about curriculum integration. We cannot say we want quality healthcare when we're not teaching our students about quality healthcare. Let me just stress this important thing. It is our students that are going to make changes in the healthcare industry, because we are the one training people that will go into the healthcare industry and make these changes. If we don't incorporate technology in our curriculum, how would they even know what to do or how to make changes that are profitable or that are effective in the practice setting? We also look at the pilot programs and research out there. So sometimes we think of a huge research funding. You can do pilot programs. You can have a little initiative to measure the access of impact of technology on in your institutions. When you do that, you can use that pilot program, you can forward it into a grant, a huge grant. So start first, say, okay, develop a little initiative in your school. Evaluate that, measure the impact. The results of that, then you can fold it into bigger grant. When the grant, people have the grant, when they see the success of what you've done, as in the pilot program, they are likely to fund you for bigger funding. Be an advocate. We have to be advocates. The Nursing Council had to advocate for technology integration into the curriculum. And educators are involved in Nursing Council, so let's push our leaders to get to that point. And we need guidelines or standards. The first thing we did in this presentation is to look at the guidelines for standard or quality healthcare. So we need to develop these standards and stick to the standards. It will help us. So I just want to give you a brief idea, a brief result of what I did. I did a study to measure the impact of COVID-19 on the educational environment of our students at Andrews University. That was when we moved from face-to-face class to online class because of the COVID-19 pandemic. And it was a mixed method research. I'm not going to go into details of that, but just this to show you what we have, an open-ended survey. And the open-ended survey is what I analyzed first to see what our students really thinking about that. I'm not going to bore you with the details of it, but I brought this out. And this particular one, 17 of our students that we polled in the open-ended survey, they said that having classes on Zoom was effective for them. They also commented on the design, the LMS design, okay, the good class experience they have with LMS design. And the university was also very flexible. But I want to focus on classes on Zoom and good LMS design. Now, I know many universities will have your online programs on Zoom, but a good LMS design is been known to help students to learn. It's not enough to just teach them and record it and have them rewind it. That's like face-to-face. But you're going to have a design of online program that is going to involve students learning systematically and on their own. So they found out that that was a very good experience for them. I just thought I should bring that in for you to appreciate that. And also when we had the pandemic, we had a lot of lessons on the pandemic. And one of it is we don't have to do everything on face-to-face. For instance, there is response in the United in Saudi Arabia, you see, they use telemedicine, they use digital dashboards, they use applications in Switzerland, they use telehealth in Latin America. In North America, we use telehealth, online education. What am I saying? To improve ourselves. And sometimes we are so focused on this is the way I was taught, and this is the way I'm going to teach. We should start thinking beyond outside the box and start thinking what will actually ours. We are teaching students in the 21st century. Most of them are more literate, computer literate than we are. So we should start thinking of how am I going to harness that in teaching them and making them the best that they can be. So my challenge to all of us today is which way forward? with all that I've presented to you today, which is the way forward. Number one, we see that research is very important in nursing education. And not only that, it also feeds into evidence-based practice in nursing practice or leads to quality healthcare. Are we doing stuff just the way we do it? Is our hospital just the same way we practiced nursing in the 1980s when I was there? Or have we moved forward looking at evidence and not just doing it the way we do it, but because we have evidence for doing it? There is a lot of big data out there that we can harness, but because we don't have EHR as such in Nigeria, that might be a problem. But in developed world, they have big data they can harness for evidence-based practice. Our practice should be technologically improved, and we should use those models. We need to start thinking outside the box in our nursing practice. And you as nurse educators are the ones going to really make the changes or push for the changes in the practice arena. The education that we give to our students, we need to increase technology use and in our curriculum design. We need to build competencies based on technology. We also need to collaborate. Is it enough of silos? We teach our nurses to be nurses. No, collaborate. Let them know that they are part of a health team, that they can collaborate. They have enough knowledge to be toe-to-toe with doctors and pharmacists and everybody. So let's start incorporating that into them from the beginning. I remember when I was in Nigeria, I went to Obafemi Awolowo University for my BSN, that we were the nursing education. We were in the same class with doctors, dentists, and everything. So there was no difference. We do the same courses together. So by the time I finished, they respected me because I beat them in all the classes, and they are medical students. So we should start teaching our students in such a way so they see themselves as important part of the team. Visibilities, please, this is so important. We cannot keep quiet. Be part of professional organization in the academics and develop standard. If your voice is not there, it's not going to happen because you are the teachers. Be the voice in these organizations, in the nursing council, to push for standard development and organizations in different organizations. So today we'll talk about defining quality in healthcare and nursing education. We're able to define both. We discuss the impact on nursing education and quality healthcare delivery, and we explore future directions and challenges that we have. I hope you have enjoyed this presentation so far. Thank you for the opportunity to present, and these are my references.
Yes, it was really, really enjoyed. Thank you so much, Ma. We are very, very grateful that we even have to wake you up at this time because of our time zones that are different. We thank you for showing up and for impacting us. May God bless you, Ma. Yes, are there questions? Please put your questions on the chat box if you have. Questions, questions, questions.
Would you like me to read the questions or you will present them?
I am yet to get any, Ma.
I see one here in the chat box. It says, how can we get schools that offer telemedicine for nurses online? And
Please
how
go
many
ahead,
months or years is the program? I'm sorry?
Please go ahead with the response.
Oh, okay. Let me go back to the beginning and see if there's anything else. Okay, give me 1 second. I don't want to miss anybody's questions, so let me know if my time is up. So I would not take too much time. Okay. I don't know if this one is for me, resources, so I'm going to leave that alone. Quality education enhances our practice, which leads to quality healthcare. Good, thank you. Please, are we getting the slides later? It's recorded. I hope you will. I'm trying to get to the other ones. How can we get schools that offer telemedicine for nurses online? And how many months or years is the program? Okay, telemedicine is an advanced practice program. You have to be a provider to be able to do telemedicine. This is what I mean. For instance, I'm a psych mental health nurse practitioner. And so we have different nurse practitioners, we have family nurse practitioners. I want to just tell you the truth. That's what Nigeria needs. We need nurse practitioners, and I don't know why we can't get it, because nurse practitioners are going to make a whole bunch of difference with the lack of doctors that are out there. Anyways, I digress. So it is the advanced practice nurses role. So if you are a provider, then you can it's part of your training as an advanced practice. And usually the advanced practice role is in a master's level or a doctoral level. Where I teach at New Mexico State University is at the doctoral level. We have the Doctor of Nursing Practice degree with 2 majors, psychiatric mental health and family nurse practitioner. These are the 2 majors, or we have leadership as well. So with that, you have the practical experience of doing telemedicine during your training. And when you finish, depending on the institution you work for, they will have telemedicine as part of their offering for their patients. So your patient, instead of booking a regular appointment to see you, they will choose telemedicine. When they choose telemedicine, they have the videos all set up for you by your institution. So you just open the video like a Zoom, and then you can see them on the Zoom and you can treat them. So our master's program usually depends on where you are. It's about 2 years. Our doctoral program is about, if you come in as a baccalaureate degree person, I think you spend about 3 to 4 years to finish the doctoral program. If you come in as a master prepared person, you spend about 2 years, 18 months to 2 years, and you finish. Okay, let's see. We have not really done much in the area of partnership collaboration. Yes, I want to encourage you to do that. How has this body considered the ill treatment Nigerian nurses are facing today? I would not be the person to answer that. I would not know much about that. I apologize. Please, I wish that more, okay, I think that more of these meetings were carried on quarterly and be made. Okay, that's for the educate people that are here. That are preparing it. I did not see any other question. So if you still have questions, please just indicate by raising your hand in the chat. And you can unmute yourself and ask your questions. Sorry, I don't mean to take it off from you. I just didn't want to miss the questions. All right, Mr. Stephen.
Thank you very much, Ma, for the wonderful presentation. I understand that telemedicine, especially in Nigeria, due to the challenges we have, especially the poor infrastructure we have in the health system, and especially also in our universities, it might be a very difficult thing to practice. And you, as you rightly mentioned also, we don't have nurse practitioners. So even if we are making an effort to get it in our countries to be practiced, it's going to be like we are trying to do something in abstraction. So I don't know whether there is there a way Nigeria, especially the National American Council of Nigeria and some other regulators in the Nigerian care system, that we can begin by trying to encourage the doctor of nursing practice in our Nigerian educational system. Then from there, I believe there will be a quality trend that will be given in each of the specialty. Then when we have such nurse practitioners who have actually gained this education, then they will now begin to bring in technology, although I know it's going to be a long-term goal, not that it's going to be something that you have to do it next year or now. So it's just like a suggestion that if our stakeholders in the council, NAM, and other collaborators, like the brain game that our second presenter have rightly said. Those of you that are already into it in the abroad or overseas, is there any way we can put our head together to see how we can encourage the development of the Doctor of Nursing Practice curriculum in Nigeria system, so that we can leap up the practice area as far as, although we have PhDs that are going on in the university system, which is more of research, so that we can also bridge the gap in the practice area, so that we can bring in all these technologies. That's what I'm trying to say. Thank you.
Thank you. That's a very interesting question and well thought of. I appreciate that. I am as concerned as you are that we don't have the Doctor of Nursing Practice program here in Nigeria. And I have worked with 2 countries in trying to get it to them. I worked with Democratic Republic of Congo recently, and I worked with Ghana recently to see. And I think I made a proposition to Babcock University as well. I came to Nigeria and made a proposition to them to see if they can do that. I think one of the things that is a challenge, one of you rightly put it in the poll that we did, is mindset. Until we break the mindset, it's going to be a little difficult. I think the mindset that, number one, if you don't have a PhD, you don't have a doctoral degree. That's the problem. So no school wants to embark on DMP. They prefer to just do a PhD program. At least I know that's what Babcock told me when I got there to push for DMP. They preferred the PhD program. They don't want a DMP, and that was years ago. And again, the thing with the DMP is it's so easy to organize. And it could be online as well. And most institutions here are willing to award a degree, but because it's an online degree, another mindset is a challenge. People don't appreciate online degrees. They said unless it's face-to-face, and that's why I presented their findings from our research to you. I think we are so stuck in our ways that we're not thinking outside the box. And I'm just going to say that, and I will say it until my voice is silenced, that instead of having quack doctors treating our Nigerians, let's train nurses to be nurse practitioners. They will have the sense, they know what they're doing, they will be ready to treat these patients. They can go into rural areas. That's what we do in the United States. The doctors don't want to go into rural areas, but the nurses do. They do, they serve like doctors because they can prescribe, they can treat patients, and we get quality care. So to answer your question, Mr. Stephen, it takes time and mindset change, but we're not going to keep quiet. I belong to what we call in National Association of Nigerian Nurses in North America. And we're already working with the Nigerian Council for Nursing and Midwifery and to see what changes can be done to the curriculum. We're actively working on that. I don't know if we presented DMP to them yet, but it's something we're thinking about. So it's going to take time. Changes take time, but we cannot be quiet. Don't be silent. Just keep pushing. And one day we'll get there.
Okay.
I don't know if there's another hands up. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I doubt there is. And if there is none, that means we have come to the end of the presentations. And so once again, I want to say thank you to Dr. B. Ade Oshifomi for giving us that insightful presentation. Moving forward, I want to quickly say that this conference was put together by the School of Nursing, Babcock University, the Alpha Beta Gamma chapter of Sigma International, as well as A integrated A0W integrated resources. And so at this time, I want to invite Mr. Mayowa Jetumobi. We have met the Dean for the School of Nursing in person of Professor Christiana Shoumi. We have also met with Dr. Clara Lawal, who stands as the president for the chapter here in Babcock. And now we will hear from Mr. Jetumobi on behalf of AOW Integrated Resources. Thank you.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you're joining us from. Please, am I audible?
Yes, you are, but you are not visible.
I'm not visible? I should be
we can see
visible.
you.
I think my
We can
camera
see
is on.
you.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. My camera is on, but I don't know why it's not coming up.
You are visible.
Oh, thank you very much. I just wanted to use this opportunity to thank everybody that participated in this program for today. Like she said, my name is Ajetumobi Olumayowa. I'm a director of Knowledge Center from AOW Integrated Resources. It's been a journey, and it looked as if we were not going to have it. But I want to thank Professor Showumi, the Dean, School of Nursing Science, Babcock University, for being the pillar and for being the person that said, you know what, you guys must go ahead. I want to thank Mrs. Margaret Eze for coming up. It's a pleasure to have you, ma'am. I want to thank Dr. Oluwadamilare for showing up. I want to appreciate Dr. Oshifogun. I can bet it with you, this woman has not seen sleep today. She has not closed her eyes. I can tell you, because I mean, we've been talking, and I think we started talking about maybe 12 midnight our time. So you can imagine somebody so dedicated to be here to give us our sleep. I don't think we can even pay for that. Thank you so much, Auntie. I don't want to call you Dr. Shifogun. I'll call you Auntie. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. And you know, I love you from my heart anyways. I want to thank Dr. Okwe Babadele. Thank you for the struggle. Thank you for your input. I won't forget Dr. Mathomi Julius. Thank you for the calls back and forth, sending documentations back and forth. Thank you, because you are, sometimes I tire people out because I'm very, very demanding and I'm quite needy. Thank you for those wonderful time we shared together. I won't forget Dr. Rafiat Anokuru. Thank you for your input. I really appreciate you. And there's a car we have in Nigeria. It's called The Discussion Continues. And I'm pretty sure this event is not going to end just like this. It's going to be a series. We're going to invite you from time to time. So get ready, get across to us on whatever you think we can talk about that is very impactful in the system. Thank you very much, everyone. I wish you all the best. It's a pleasure having you. And thank you for being part of this great event. Thank you, and thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Over to Dr. Anokoro.
Good afternoon, everyone. And with all due respect to all the presenters, I'm going to try to summarize what we have learned so far today. Am I audible? I just want to be sure that I'm being heard. All right,
Yes,
thank you. Yes, please. I'm going to try to summarize everything we've heard today into one, just one short summary. We started with the history of nursing education, how nursing education has moved from non-organization in the 1930s to now being organized, to in fact into the degrees from the BNSC to the PhD, and also even to now colleges of nurses. So we are not stagnant, as it were, in nursing education in Nigeria. However, we also learned today that even though we have moved in the nursing education in Nigeria, we cannot do well without adequate funding. We can only do well with adequate funding, and that is what Dr. Akimbade Oluwadamilare was trying to tell us. And for us to do well, with funding, we have to be able to write good grants, and we have to be able to have good researches. And I hold on to what he says strongly and tenaciously, with saying that we need to lead out in nursing departments. Our professors need to start writing grants. It's not good enough for them to just supervise students, but it's also good enough for them to get resources, grants, so that we can improve the nursing education further in Nigeria, as it were, and in our universities. And Dr. Adair
Thank you
Shifogu
so much, ma'am. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you, ma'am.
Dr. Adair Shifogu did not end,
Thank you so much, ma'am.
did not end the discussion with just finances. He also made us to understand that we can include AI, we can include technology even in our education to improve the quality, and we can think outside the box. I started that very much. And we can collaborate, and we can be visible, and we can be all that we think nursing can be. But all this is only possible as we work together as nurses. Just like Mr. Mayowa has said, this conference is not ending here. We're still going to have more, and we are hoping that when we call on you, we will have more responses. We are sorry. I had a lot of feedback that they cannot join in because we had only 100 capacity. We promise that the next one we will try to improve on the number, and we're going to have more capacity. Having said that, we can go ahead and think, how can we improve online education in Nigeria? Not that we will set on the online, we say network is bad, or we are in the bus stops and we are having classes, or we are teaching students and students are just on the screen, but not but not in the class. So how do we merge the two, such that we can still deliver quality education, as it were, in Nigeria? Thank you very much. That is our take home. We should think about it. How do we ensure that we have good education and it is online? And yet it is truly online, not just a screensaver. May God help us in Jesus' name. I don't know, Dr. Okpebabadele, should I go ahead and pray?
Before you do, ma'am, I want to quickly appreciate Dr. Chinomso Nwozichi on behalf of his academy, which is Nosology Academy, for providing the IT platform for us. Thank you so much. God bless you. He's also the Vice President for Sigma Alpha Beta Gamma chapter here in Babcock. Thank you. Please go ahead, ma'am.
All right. Okay, so we have come to the end of our conference. Please, can we all put on our camera? Because Dr. Mozichi is going to take a picture because we'll need to keep it. Please let us put on our cameras, and he's going to do the snapshot for us. Please let us put on our cameras. Dr. Mozichi, over to you to please take the pictures. Dr. Mozichi.
You know, Dr. Wochichi said we had 500. We could have taken 500. It's not 400.
Yeah, well, the screen says 100. There was a snapshot to say it could no longer take 100. I mean, it could no longer admit anybody. It was snapped and shown to me.
Yeah, I'm working on the screenshot.
Yes, thank you. Please, let's keep our cameras and wait for the screenshots. And thank you so much. And then I'll go ahead and pray after the screenshots. So Dr. Mozichi, can we go ahead to pray?
Yeah, go ahead, ma'am.
All right, thank you. So we are praying. Our Father in heaven, we thank you for the opportunity that we have to be able to engage in this one-day conference. It's been insightful. We are grateful for the presenters. We pray, dear Jesus, that you will help us, that what we learn, that we should collaborate, we should work with those that are abroad for brain gain rather than brain drain. Help us to be able to know how to put this into functional reality. I pray, oh God, that you will also help us, that even as we plan further for more of such conferences, that you will inspire us and that your name will be glorified. Thank you, dear Jesus, because we know that you've helped us thus far, and we return all the glory back to you. We ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, everybody. You have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You can unmute yourself and say hello to whoever you know on the platform.
I've seen my lecturer, Professor Mafan, Dr. Richard. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, ma'am. Everyone, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Very soon.
Thank you, the organizers. Seriously, I have learned a lot. I pray this continues.
Thank you for the lecture. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, our professor and Dr. God bless you, ma'am.
Thank you, Mommy Izzy. God bless you, ma.
Grandma Dean.
Thank you.
Grandma Dean, thank you for attending.
Dr. Chidima Abaribe. Well done.
Mrs. Opatuji, thank you for that
Thank
smile.
Thank you, our mommy, Dr. Anoku. Thank you. Thank you, ma. God bless you. Thank you, ma. Thank you,
Professor
ma. God bless
Samson
you.
Akpan. Thank you, ma.
Yes,
Professor
ma.
Samson Akpan.
Love you.
Dr. Wozishi.
Present.
Please come home for Christmas. Dr. Nonso, please come home for Christmas.
Oh, don't worry, you will see me. You will see me soon.
Okay, now, Dr. Wozishi. Nice having you here. Thank you, ma. God bless
Oh, we are not running away from this.
Professor Wozichi, very good work.
Thank you.
Very good work, Mrs.
Thank you so much.
Mrs. Opatuji. Thank you for that smile. Grandma Jean, we can cite you.
Nosology Academy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Grandma D.
Grandma Dean. Mommy Ashanuga.
Thank you.
Grandma D
Well,
people.
Dr. Ojo and Dr.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome.
Enjoy the outcome of your activities.
Thank you, ma.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, ma.
President, ma. I hope you're enjoying your stay up there. Dr. Lawal, ma.
I'm